Step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Ooh, good morning, you beautiful people. Welcome to another magic edition of your Expresso show. My name is Raul Demone, and this glorious figure on my left-hand side.
My name is Katlego Maboy, and it's always so good to be in your company at the start of a brand new day. And guess what? We're halfway through the week, and with 100-odd days behind us, we've lost count of where we are right now in lockdown, really. At some point, there was like a hashtag day 40, hashtag day 42 on Twitter, and now it's just like hashtag the days. So we thought that we'd look back at how life has evolved over time, particularly with how we run our businesses, which has, of course, taken a dramatic knock and a shift in perspective given what's happening in the economy right now, right? I'm sure you'd understand that because you're a businessman yourself,
affected, right? So many friends, so many of the networks are affected, and I think it's a great show today, especially to showcase how we're living that new norm as businesses and how we're coming through the rut that we've been facing. So it's going to be an interesting one, Kat.
Absolutely. We'll also be catching up with Eitan Stern, our legal advisor, if you will, to share his knowledge on labor laws during COVID-19. Of course, a lot of people's works being affected, their relationship with their employers being affected, and so understanding your position in this time is just so important indeed. So there's lots to look forward to on this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast. Yeah. Let's say hi to the rest of the team, shall we? How are you doing, guys? What day is it today? Day what of lockdown already?
Hey.
Do we even know? Good morning, South Africa. My name is Jamie Domberg, reporting live for duty on this Tuesday morning.
And my name is Thabiso Makubela. Certainly without the information on what day of lockdown it is, but I can tell you it is the 15th of July 2020. It's midweek, and yes, a very special focus on businesses this morning, Jamie Lee. Lots of content around that.
Absolutely.
And rightfully so, right? Because a lot of businesses have really taken a knock as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic across the globe. So we're asking you guys at home this morning if you were to innovate, because people have to innovate now as we find ourselves navigating through the new normal. If you had to come up with a new business idea during this COVID-19 lockdown period, what idea could this be if you had the finances? So we've asked you on Facebook, what innovative lockdown business ideas would you start if you had the financial capability? Hashtag Expresso Show.
Can we say you're very business savvy? So if you had the financial capability during this time, what would you actually do?
I think there's a lot of opportunity around digitizing businesses, so making businesses accessible on a digital space or digital platforms. So many businesses out there are struggling, not because their products or services aren't needed or aren't necessary during this time, but purely because they've not been able to evolve into the digital era. So taking businesses that have existed in the traditional form and trying to find ways to integrate them into digital spaces and run them in that way. Something to think about.
Thabiso for president, everybody kickstarting our business mind right now. But let's get on with the order of the day and find out what's happening in and around the world with Kat.
Well, it's 6:03 on this day 110 of the lockdown, if you were wondering. Let's take a look at those headlines. Now, on the national news front, the South African Airways Business Rescue Plan was yesterday adopted with 86% of the creditors voting in favor of the amended plan. Government welcomed that decision. Now, the Department of Public Enterprises has also undertaken to provide proof of funding for the plan to go ahead as required by the Companies Act. Acting Director General of the department, Khatatso Tlhakudi, said the new airline would be an attractive asset for an equity partner. SAA's current acting COO, Philip Saunders, will be acting as the new interim chief executive officer. In other news, the Passenger Rail Agency of SA says it has successfully completed the first 10 days since the resumption of limited services on July the 1st after 13 weeks of closure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Metro Rail implemented strict COVID-19 protocols on all the services and ensured that all passengers wore masks, sanitized hands, and follow physical distancing markings. Gauteng, Western Cape, and Eastern Cape were the first to run a limited rail service focusing on the morning and afternoon peaks, while in KZN, services resumed on July the 6th, operating only during off-peak hours. On the international news front this morning, a New York State judge yesterday lifted a stay that had temporarily blocked Donald Trump's niece, Mary Trump, from publishing a book presenting an unfiltering look at the U.S. president and his family. Justice Hall Greenwald denied the request of Robert Trump, the president's brother, to stop publication. Robert Trump said, quote, "Too much and never enough. How my family created the world's most dangerous man would violate a confidentiality agreement tied to the estate of his father, Fred Trump Sr., who died in 1999. Mary Trump, a trained psychologist, is Fred Trump's granddaughter. In other news, Sudan has begun distributing cash handouts under an internationally backed plan to help millions cope with an economic crisis aggravated by the coronavirus pandemic. The stimulus is funded from a $1.8 billion pledged by 40 countries at a conference last month in Germany as the African nation transitions from 3 decades of rule under now ousted autocrat Omar al-Bashir. Now, the program is based on supporting 80% of the country's population with direct cash support from the state. And now an item on one of the most impressive birds in the world. A new study on the world's heaviest bird published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences for the first time mentions amazing facts regarding the Andean condor. Now, researchers have found that this bird, of which some weigh a whopping 15 kilograms with a wingspan of up to 3 meters, flaps its wings just 1% of the time during flight, most of this during takeoff. Now, flight recorders found one bird that flew for 5 hours without flapping, covering some 170 kilometers, making use of air currents to stay airborne. Now, the study is a collaboration between Swansea University's Professor Emily Shepard and Dr. Sergio Lambertucci in Argentina. Shepard said the research showed just how flexible condor soaring strategies are. However, they don't have the luxury of gliding all day because at some point they get hungry and they need to fly to find food. And this is where it becomes really tricky. They have to find rising air to avoid an unplanned landing. It's estimated that there are only about 6,700 Andean condors left in the world. And turning our gaze to the world of entertainment this morning, it has sadly been confirmed that the body that was recovered from Lake Piru in California on Monday afternoon, where American actress Naya Rivera went missing last week Wednesday, is indeed that of the 33-year-old star from the hit series Glee. Now, the lake is known locally for strong, unpredictable currents and whirlpools that have caused the deaths of other swimmers in the past, and authorities suspect that she and her 4-year-old son Josie went swimming off the boat that she had hired and got caught in one of them. It is believed that she used the last of her strength to push Josie back onto the boat before succumbing to the waters. Tributes from her co-stars and fans have been pouring in, most of whom are noting the tragic fact that her body was found 7 years to the day since her former co-star Corey Monteith was found dead in a Vancouver hotel due to drug toxicity. We send peace and love to all those who are near and dear to her, and may her soul rest in peace. But on that note, that is it for the news at 6 o'clock. We'll have another report for you at 7. Right now, let's take a look at those sport headlines.
Starting off with your morning sport, keeping it local this morning now. Banyana captain Janine van Wyk has joined Scottish team Glasgow City for the upcoming season. And now the 33-year-old has been a top player in South Africa, leading Banyana to the Olympic Games on 2 occasions and captained the team to the FIFA Women's World Cup in France last year. Now, Glasgow City is a top-performing team in Scotland, and they are the current Scottish Women's Premier League and Scottish Cup champions. And now, sticking with soccer, Frank Lampard's Chelsea picked up 3 points after claiming a 1-0 victory over Norwich City at Stamford Bridge in the English Premier League last night. Now, the Blues forward Olivier Giroud scored the only goal of the match with a header from very close range to the top left corner. Now, Chelsea remains third in the standings behind champions Liverpool and former champions Manchester City. And there will be 4 Premier League fixtures this evening. The biggest matches include Newcastle up against Tottenham Hotspur, Man City hosting Bournemouth, and Arsenal take on Liverpool. Now in the MotoGP news, last year's MotoGP runner-up Andrea Dovizioso has been declared fit to race in the season opener at the Jerez circuit in Spain after he sustained an injury to his left collarbone in a crash last month. And now the 34-year-old Ducati rider has been eager to start the MotoGP season after he was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And there will be back-to-back races in Jerez on the 19th and 26th of July. That's a roundup of your morning sport. Let's find out what's happening in the latest weather with Jamie Lee.
Happy Wednesday to all of you. We have reached the middle of the working week. For the past few days, the weather has been rather unkind in most parts of the country. Now, I hope that you're all well and keeping safe and warm during this time. But before we get into the first look at today's weather forecast, here are some sunrise pictures sent through by our amazing viewers. Carrie Hunter Holthausen sent us the spectacular golden sunrise from Stellenbosch with the caption, "Have courage and be kind." Now, it looks like it is going to be a cool day for Stellenbosch with a low of 4 degrees and a high of 16 degrees today. Another regular coming through, Father Khan sends his greetings with this stinging sunrise image taken in Richards Bay. That is a cloudy day for Richards Bay with temperatures ranging from 9 degrees reaching a maximum temperature of 18 degrees. Thank you to both Carrie and Father for your awesome sunrise pictures. I trust you will have a great start to your Wednesday morning. Now, the massive cold front that brought bucket loads of rain to the Western Cape this past weekend has helped to recharge dams significantly. Now, Cape Town dam levels have recovered up to almost 73%, a stark contrast from 2017 when levels were a bleak 27%. Now, the largest dam, the Waterskloof, is almost 70% full. Now, the parts in the world currently experiencing serious floods are Bangladesh and China. A third of Bangladesh is under water after some of the heaviest rains in a decade. Now, in China, the unfolding disaster comes as the country is still reeling from the aftermath of the coronavirus. Floods have hit 27 of the 31 provincial regions in mainland China, with water levels reaching heights not experienced in 30 years. Now, a total of 443 rivers nationwide are in flood, with 33 of them swelling to the highest levels ever recorded. Now, bringing it back home, the South African Weather Service has advised of severe frost in some provinces today, while others will experience very cold conditions. And here are the temperatures for the rest of the country. Starting off with Polokwane, your low is 2, peaking at 16 degrees today. Umbombela, your range is from 1 to 20 degrees. Pretoria, you are at 0, peaking at 17 today. Johannesburg, it's -3 for you, reaching a high of 14 degrees. If you do find yourself in Mahikeng, your range is -1, peaking at 19 today. Klerksdorp, -5 with a high of 15. Kimberley, -3, peaking at 14 degrees today. And then Bloemfontein, yours is -6, peaking at 14 as well. Richards Bay, 9-18. Pietermaritzburg, 1-16. And then if you do find yourself in South Africa's playground at Durban today, your range is 10 to 18 degrees. Umtata, your range is -2 to 15 degrees. East London, 8-18. Craddock, your range is -4 today, peaking at only 13 degrees. And if you find yourself in the friendly city of Port Elizabeth, your range is 6 to 17 degrees. George coming through with a low of 6 and a maximum temperature of 16 degrees. Cape Town, for you, it is 9-18. Worcester, your range is 4 to 15. Sutherland coming through with a -5 degrees, peaking at only 13 degrees. And then last but definitely not least, Uppington with a low of -2, peaking at 17. But of course, wherever you find yourself on this beautiful Wednesday, make sure that you keep it locked right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Indeed. Lock it in. Leave the button there. Don't touch it for the rest of the morning, or at least the next 3 hours as we keep you entertained. Now, throughout this morning, we're taking a glimpse at what it's like to work and operate a business in the era of COVID-19.
It's not easy.
It's not
right?
easy. Absolutely not. In all kinds of industries, the effect has been absolutely just astounding.
Yeah.
When you look at what happens when the economy comes to a grinding halt and what people need to do then to adjust. cost.
And you see it in the knock-on effect. I mean, you see it in the people being laid off, people who are losing their jobs, is often as a result of businesses struggling during this time. And that's why we're sharing the following words of advice from Winston Churchill this morning, the former British Prime Minister, who really led the country through one of its darkest periods. He faced pressure to survive amidst enemies, threatening to advance across the English Channel and daily bombings of London that used to take place over there. Ever an entrepreneur, Churchill, he really understood that failure was part of the process, and this is what he had to say.
He said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I can't count on my British accent over there, but those were his words. Success is not final, failure not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
We can't let it stop us, guys. Let's soldier on, take that and run with it. We'll see you after this.
What's better than a sugar-coated, deliciously crispy golden brown donut and 100% Arabica beans brewed to perfection? Treat yourself and warm up your morning with a little sweetness from McCafe with the all-new mini donut and cappuccino offer. A little lovin' doesn't have to cost a lot. Great coffee, simple.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Hey.
Yeah. You know what time it is, Tubbs. You ready for it?
I'm ready for it. Always ready for a celebration. Always ready for a celebration.
So excited, of course, guys. It's that time of the day where we wish you, our loyal and lovely viewers, a very happy birthday. And today, you get to share your special day with the man who is known for wearing a ski mask as his signature look. And I bet you don't even know who he really is. Now, his name is Uvir Pillay, and he turns 31 years old today, otherwise known as Sketchy Bongo.
Sketchy Bongo.
Sketchy Bongo. Yeah. Now, everyone in the studio is going crazy when they heard that, but no, he's mostly known for his stage name, Sketchy Bongo, of course, and he's one of the best record producers in South Africa and has worked with well-known artists such as Shakina, AKA, and Carl Touch, and has delivered fire in his music. And that's the content we signed up for. So happy birthday to you, brother. I hope you have an incredible one.
Happy birthday, Sketchy Bongo. Now time to celebrate your birthdays at home. If you're celebrating yours, you share it with Leica. Happy 18th birthday to my daughter Leica from your mother, Jasmine. And then Eli, it's your birthday as well. We wish you a very happy birthday. It's your third birthday, Eli. You bring so much warmth to our hearts, and may the Lord bless you with many more years to come. Remember your mummy, your daddy, and your brother. They love you. Have a great day, baby boy. This is from Shamsoni's Carols.
Eli looking too cute there. Now we're celebrating Lexi's birthday. It's a happy 7th birthday to our big girl, Lexi Sharpie. May you have a blessed day from Marlene, Pa, Jerry, family, and all your friends. Oh, you're in those beautiful pigtails. Have a beautiful one. And now Bashir is having a big one today. It's a happy 75th birthday to Uncle Bashir. May Allah grant you long and healthy life and have an awesome day. Lots of love from your extended family, Farid, Nazlim, Israel, Shazia, and Nizamuddin. Have a beautiful one, Bashir.
Happy birthday. Then Nadine celebrates her birthday today as well. Happy birthday to Nadine. I wish you all God's richest blessings, my angel. Stay the amazing person that you are. We love you very much. This is from your dad, your mom, and your sister.
I'm sure Nadine is just frothing to go out. Look at that lovely outfit.
Oh, you can see Nadine likes to hit the street, man. Lucinda, to our beautiful DJ Lucinda on her 35th birthday. May you be blessed with all your heart's desires. Please make sure that you forget the past and look forward to the future. The best things await you ahead. This is from the Expensive Friday team. Ooh, DJ Lucinda, happy birthday.
And our last on the list for this one, we've got Alwetu having another adventure-filled year which awaits you. Welcome to it by celebrating your birthday with love and absolute splendor. We are wishing you a very happy and fun-filled birthday, Alwetu. Happy birthday to you, my man. Looking so stylish, and I hope you have nothing but love and prosperity today on this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Thursday.
Sending you lots and lots of love. Everybody celebrating your birthday today. But of course, if you have a loved one celebrating their birthday in the next coming days, please, we want to hear all about it. Send us a birthday shout out. Maybe send them a birthday shout out by WhatsApping it to us on 071-6406-551. That's a video, right? You can send a video to that, or you can send us an email, birthdays@cadova.tv, with a picture of the person, and of course a nice sweet message. But of course, if it is your birthday today, from all of us here at Expresso, happy birthday.
This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso on SABC3. Thanks for joining us at the start of a brand new day. Now, Game was founded in 1970. Can you believe that, Jenny? 1970. Founded by Jack Schaefer and Alan Hellman, who wanted to put the fun back into what had become a tedious chore. Now, shopping, they believed, should be a game. So when Game put out a call for their customers' fondest in-store memories in celebration of their thrifty 50th birthday, they could have never imagined receiving this next story, a legendary story from the legendary founder and humanist Jack Schaefer's daughter, Martine, who joins us on the line now with her sister, Leora Rubenstein, to chat about their dad's memory and how they were both there when it all began. Ladies, thanks so much for joining us. A very good morning to you.
Good morning. Morning. Hi.
I mean, both of you must have such amazing memories. You were both there when the family business first began. But what was it like when Game first opened its doors, and how were you both involved in the business from such a young age?
So I was a mere 4 years old when it first opened its doors, and I mean I remember not seeing much of my father because he was always working. But as I grew up, and I think I was about 7 or 8, I was roped into the business, much like the rest of the family was. My mother was always a big part of it. And I literally started on the shop floor, selling candy, selling records. And one of my fondest memories is being at head office on the switchboard and answering, "Good morning, you always win at Game. How can I help you?" And I must have been 8 years old, and probably child labor today. That was very much what it felt like. You know, it was a family business.
Yeah, and for me, I was only a year, and when Game opened its doors, and my father also made us very much a part of the journey of Game. We modelled the clothes. We were also part of the advertising campaigns, and we were also part of all the special guests that he had at the stores, and it was amazing.
That is truly amazing to be able to tap back into some of those memories. And speaking of those memories, which one of them stands out the most to you when it comes to your father himself, his personality, his character, and in particular, how he chose to run the business?
For me, my memory was that he was always on the floor. There never felt like there was a hierarchy in the business. He embraced all staff and customers, and he was just always around to handle everything.
He was a humanist. My father was a humanist first and foremost, and he treated people fairly. And when you look back to 1970, he really promoted people fairly. You know, there was no color, there was no gender. It was really about your ability to do the job.
What is maybe one of the most important business and life lessons overall that your father has taught you throughout his life and just his career as well?
So I think for me, it was about taking risks. I definitely have his innovation, his ability to innovate, and his entrepreneurial streak. And for better or worse, a strong work ethic.
And for me, he always lived life with two mottos, certainly in his business. And one is don't sweat the small stuff. And I think that for me is really relevant now, certainly in light of what's going on. And the second one, just as important, is pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start all over again. Just lives true from 50 years ago to today. It was just amazing.
Brilliant life lessons in general over there. Now, if both of you were to just take a step back out of the picture and seeing so many people across South Africa absolutely loving Game as a brand, sharing their Game stores memories with such pride. I mean, what do you think your father would think of the legacy today?
I mean, my father was a visionary. He was a man way ahead of his time. So I don't think even he would have imagined how it has grown to the 142 stores across Africa. But he'd look at the people who were behind him. He was very humble.
Yeah.
And he looked at the people who helped build him to that place.
Wow.
Bringing it now to 2020, what does it feel like to walk into a Game stores today? Like, do the memories flood back, and do you share them with your family and friends as well?
I walked into Canal Walk last week with my 14-year-old daughter when things were becoming quite significant, when we got the first phone call, to say how amazed they were that they found us. And it kind of had its old feel about it. It was simple. It was all about the product, and it was about selling product. It wasn't about the fluff around it. And when the motto of "you always win at Game," you kind of still feel that it lends true. It was a simple but powerful brand, and I think it still is.
Yeah, I always want to walk in and just sort of tap someone on the shoulder and say, tell them the story of the early days and how I also used to work there, my ethics of customer service. And I think everyone still has a memory, and I think that's really important.
50 years of winning with Game, and people certainly sharing their memories proudly around that. And of course, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Game with the Thrifty 50 Trolley Dash competition. So if I were to ask you ladies, what would be some of the items that you and perhaps maybe your inner child would want to throw into that trolley and run away with during a trolley dash? What would those be?
So in today's time, for me, I'm a real humanist, and I think I would fill it with food and blankets and heaters to give to others. But if I was going to bring out my inner child, it would have to be sweets, because I was at that candy counter from the very, very early days.
My father was so much not around, but he used to come back from his buying trips, long business trips, buying all the latest toys and Barbies and dolls and whatever. And it's, for me, we just had toy boxes filled with stuff. Yeah, and I think both of us have, again, had that human side of us or instilled in us that you have to give back in order to receive. So I think that we would probably, or me too, would, try and give back that which we could. I think he would want us to give back as his daughters.
Wonderful to see those values instilled in you ladies and that you are indeed still consciously thinking about paying it forward. And once again, congratulations to you and the entire Game family for 50 amazing years. And here's to the next 50.
Thanks for honouring his legend.
Yeah. Amazing.
Amazing for us as his daughters. You know, he died so long ago, and he was only there for 10 years, and it's amazing for us to feel him alive again.
Oh, we certainly are honoured to be part of the journey. And of course, Game Store's opening hours are from Mondays to Fridays from 9 to 6, Saturdays from 9 to 5, and Sundays and public holidays from 9 to 4.
So I'm chatting to Umalume Musa here. He's owned a small clothing factory for years now, and he's always inspired me with his success. But like a lot of businesses, this lockdown's hit him hard. So he spoke to his banker, and they've put together a tailor-made relief solution for him to help his business and his people get through this. Making your bank your business partner, that's a habit worth keeping.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it, your feel-good breakfast show. It is Expresso. We're live on SABC3 midweek. It is, what, hump day? Yes, it is. It's Wednesday, the 15th of July, 2020. Thank you very much for choosing to wake up with us. Yes, you can see we are in the kitchen. We're about to draw lots and lots of inspiration from our tried Chef Clem, but I'll tell you all about that. Before we get cooking, we know that Woolies and Gift of the Givers, they've teamed up with the aim of distributing 1 million food care packs to families in need through the Woolworths Fill a Bag campaign, and it's done so well. Each bag is filled with a balance of protein, fresh fruit, vegetables, and other staples, as well as hygiene products to help curb the spread of COVID-19. And we're getting closer and closer to reaching that incredible goal with just under 300,000 meals to go. And together, really, we can do it. As little as 10 Rand can provide one person with 3 meals for a day. Think about that. And all you have to do is scan the QR code on the screen right now using the SnapScan app or your banking app and donate today. Please do it right now. And remember to encourage your family, your friends, your neighbors, your colleagues, your chat groups to do exactly the same thing, because the truth is we all can do this. We can all make a difference in somebody's life. So think about that and go out there and do it. But it's time for us to draw draw that inspiration now. They said that there is no international leisure travel allowed. And I said, wow. And Clem said, wow, because we're taking it to Indonesia this morning. We're taking it all the way to Indonesia. We're making this very, very delicious stir fry. And we know that stir fries are wonderful warm bowls of comfort food. Everybody loves them. They're quick and easy to make. And the best of all is that they're perfect, the perfect way to add a truckload of veggies, right? And this morning we're making the nasi goreng, which itself might be something you associate with a Friday night takeout, for example. But once you know the basics on how to prepare the stir fry, there'll be no stopping you, trust me. And Chef Clem is showing us how to make a rice-inspired nasi goreng with crispy sriracha tofu. Oh, all of that sounds
good.
So good. Okay. Clem, I'm clearing the space, clearing the area.
I like that you said that, because when it comes to Asian cooking, your prep has to be done, because everything happens so fast, especially with stir fry. Once you get everything into the pan, it's just rapid. So get all your chopping done, everything done, your garlic, your ginger, everything. Eggs boiled. We do our tofu first for the tofu with little crispy bites of heaven. I don't know why we don't eat like tofu more. It's so delicious.
But the nice thing about this entire meal is that it's so quick to make.
Oh, so quick,
right?
Absolutely, and so full of flavor. So full of flavor. I'm using a silken tofu. You could use a firmer one if you'd like, but it's really great working with tofu. They're kind of like a blank canvas, and they just love any other flavor you add to it. And I love ingredients like that.
I'm about to ask what I think is potentially a silly question.
No such thing.
Where in the shop do you find tofu? Which section?
So if you're in Woolies, you go to that section where they have the panko, the Asian sauces. You'll see a little box of silken tofu. It says big and bold in blue, tofu.
Oh, okay, cool. So you won't miss it.
No, you won't.
Okay, cool.
And I'll never make a recipe that the viewers won't be able to find them ingredients, man.
I mean, you know, you can be sneaky and try to keep all the chefy stuff to the chefs.
Whoa! Look at that. Okay, so what I've got is some sriracha. I love. I think the whole world went sriracha crazy. So many chefs went out and got sriracha tattoos. I wasn't one of them, but that's just how obsessed people are with sriracha sauce. Well, it is really great, though. It's delicious.
It is very. I mean, how many restaurants have you been to and seen that right next to the tomato sauce, they've put now srirachas there on the table as well? Lots of restaurants I've been to. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. And it's great if you kind of like, you want a little bit of heat, but you don't want to get like hiccups, or you don't want to feel the heat. That's good, because it's got that fermented garlic and chili in there.
Some drops.
And it's just nice. It's got a hum. It doesn't have a wah.
It's got like a hum.
Oh, Aretha. Give me some Whitney. Give me some Whitney. Oh my word.
Sriracha.
Some Patti LaBelle.
Sriracha. S-R-I-C-H-A. Sriracha, what you mean?
Oh, wow. Okay.
You impressed?
I am. Next week it's Mariah.
Okay.
Then I'm looking forward to that. Okay.
So we'll be here for that.
I've got some panko crumbs, and all I'm doing now is I'm just tossing these coated tofu squares in some panko, and I'm letting them sit there for like a few seconds just to give the dry ingredient, which is the breadcrumb, a second just to hydrate and stick to our tofu. While that's happening, in this pan that's smoking away nicely, we're gonna go. We're gonna hit it quickly. Garlic, ginger. There's some oil in there already, some chili. Watch out, because the capsaicin is going to start like rising. You're going to feel it in the back of your throat, your nose. So just step back for a second. Give that a quick toss. Watch it.
Yeah, this is the sort of concoction or mixture in a pan that starts having people coughing up.
I love it.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
That's when you know you've got the right ingredients in your pan.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Just make sure your oil's not too hot. Turn mine down a little bit. I'm multitasking. Whoever said men can't multitask?
They were lying. Do they not see us doing it right now?
Don't they see us?
I'm talking. At the same time, I'm watching you make
You watching me?
And I'm learning.
Okay.
That is multitasking.
That's multitasking. I've got a little bit of sesame oil going in there.
Whoa, okay. I'll help you. I'm multitasking still.
Men can't multitask. We can't multitask. It's just been proven.
Okay. Cleaned up.
So just get your tofu balls out of the oil. Nah, I don't need that, Tabs. I'm good.
Are you fine?
I'm good.
Oh, it's clean now.
So this is going to be the topping for our beautiful rice balls. Just turn that oil off. In this pan, I've got the ginger, the garlic, the spring onion, add a bit of sesame seeds to that, a little bit of soy sauce going in, and that's going to give us that beautiful salty flavor. But Thai food and Asian food in general is all about the balance. So added salty in there now. Now I need the sweet, and that's coming from some honey.
Okay.
You could use some palm sugar in there.
Balancing it out.
Yeah, balancing it out.
Okay.
Woo, that chili. I mean, it's also where people will be like, Okay, I can literally have this dish for breakfast.
What are these nuts?
Peanuts going in there, and
Okay,
I'm
cool.
actually toasting the peanuts in the sauce.
Okay.
I can have nasi goreng, pad thai for breakfast, straight up.
I mean, for me, I saw the eggs, and maybe the eggs got me fooled there for a bit, but I thought that this is the perfect sort of comfort breakfast when you're looking to have like a nice solid breakfast to carry you through for a couple of hours throughout the day. If you know that you're going to be having your lunch a bit later on in the day and you want to make sure that you need the energy. But if you want this recipe and you are so inspired, which I'm sure you are, go onto our website, www.expressoshow.com. We've got this recipe of the nasi goreng loaded on there together with all of our lovely ingredients from Woolies, and they're really easy ingredients. They're easy to find as well, as Chef Clem mentioned.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to love this recipe.
Everyone's going to love it. So I was saying about whole thing about having rice for breakfast. If you think about it, most of the world has rice for breakfast in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, think about Asia. The fact that exactly.
Of course.
So I'm just doing my thing. I love this dish. Okay, so beautiful spiced rice, and I added the Woolies brown rice that comes in the packet, so you don't have to spend ages boiling your rice. Just, it's so amazing, and it's so piping hot, which makes it even better. Top it with your crispy tofu. It's so spicy, it's so good. Like you said, that beautiful egg, you have to add on there.
I love eggs. I love boiled eggs.
Oh, I love boiled eggs.
And that's not because they're the only type of eggs I know how to make.
Oh, you
that's
serious?
not the reason. It's because they're so sweet.
They're so good. Mother Nature's little package of protein, it's amazing. Extra
And
sriracha.
convenience.
That's all you need. A little bit of basil.
And there.
You're done.
And look at how good it looks. And look at the end product. It looks so good. I mean, you saw, Chef Clem took us through this entire process from start to finish in less than 5 minutes.
We only
And it's
lost
come
one
to
spoon.
life.
I mean, that's okay.
And even then, you know what? We didn't even really lose the spoon. We dropped it, cleaned it, and it was back on the table ready to earn
But like
its
Winston
keep one
Churchill,
more
he
time.
said, failure, just progress, pick up and keep on going.
And I said,
Sup,
what?
Churchill?
Take that
Sup,
and
Churchill?
soldier on. And we did. This looks really delicious. I can't wait to taste it. And of course, for the team as well to try this out. But Chef Clem, man, put it here. You're the man. I love you.
I love you.
I love you. This is really good. Go make this for the people in your life that you love. But of course, if you want the website, it's www.expressoshow.com.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're still tuned into your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. Now, Mark Lottering recently brought much-needed comedic relief to our homes with his first live-stream comedy show, My Fellow South Africans, inspired by the opening line of every public address by President Cyril Ramaphosa since the lockdown began. Now, we've got him on the line right now to find out how he's been adapting to this new normal. Mark, it's so good to see you. That lockdown glow is looking good on you.
Thank you very much, man. It's the kind of look you have when you've got loads of data.
And I suppose data's been such a commodity during this time for so many people out there. But I'm glad to see that it's working in your favor. Mark, your first live stream comedy show, I mean, My Fellow South Africans was fantastic. It was a great success, even without the sound of laughter from a live audience in a theater as you usually would have. But how has it been adapting to this new normal?
It's crazy, you know, because I'm very old school, and you know, for me, it's all about the audience. For me, it's about walking on stage and hearing people, and the story that I've been telling everyone about that live stream show was I didn't think it through. Because normally when I walk onto stage anywhere, I scream, I wear my sickness, and the audience screams back.
Yeah.
And I did that with a live stream show. I was so nervous and I wasn't thinking. And I screamed, I wear my sickness, but there was just a camera crew. And so I really, really had to, go very deep, because I thought, oh, wow, this is how my career ends. This is how my career ends.
Now, the production itself humorously tackles very relatable feelings surrounding South Africa's lockdown and how we all go about our daily lives. And there's many ways in which you could have tackled this, I guess, from a comedy point of view. So how did this particular idea come about and you deciding to tackle it this way?
So I had all the material that I wanted to share with people, but obviously the optimistic side of you says, no, we'll wait until things go back to normal. And now we're suddenly living in a situation where we do know that this will be with us for a very long time. So a lot of my followers on social media said, please go on to live stream and share the material that you have. And we want to hear what you've got now. We don't want to wait. We want to hear what you've got now. And it's just been so much to talk about how we now wake up in the morning and everybody's got to make sure that they're ready for Zoom. People like to look intelligent and they put books behind them that they've never read, because by the time everybody sees you on the breakfast show on TV, you've got to look like you're clever and you've read Charles Dickens and Shakespeare. So there's a whole lot of stuff that I could talk about.
It's not been an easy ride, Mark. In fact, Katleho and I were just talking about how amazed we've been, how many people have taken on new skills and found new hobbies. Have you pressured yourself to learn a new skill or hobby?
Yes, I did pressure myself. I bought a guitar when they announced that we were going to go into level 5. And I thought, I want to come out of this and I want to come onto your show. I want to play the guitar, and Katleho can sing, and I'll play along.
Yes.
And we have to put that dream on ice for now, because I haven't touched the guitar. The only time I picked it up was for Instagram, because it makes really cool pictures.
There's so much to catch up on. You've been up to so many things. Auntie Mel as well, I miss her, and I want you to tell me all about Auntie Mel, where she's been, and then the show where we can't catch it. So we are going to give you a bit of a breather for now, and we'll catch up with you a bit later on the show.
Thank you.
Fantastic. That's Mark Lottering still hanging out with us here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. You want to make sure that you stick around to hear all about Auntie Mel and what she's been up to, as well as the show and where to watch it.
I can't wait until Mark plays the guitar. I'm so ready.
I'm thinking about what songs you need to prepare for him to go practice.
Just Amazing Grace.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, I can see that.
Oh, Mark Lottering bringing all the laughs this morning, but Summer bringing all the insight on what's happening with regards to movie news this week. JP Sebastian, everybody, this morning, why are you so serious?
Because you said insight. Insight puts so much pressure on me. Like,
does it?
You just say our local goofball, JP Sebastian, but now I have to be like, yes, insight.
Yes, the insight, because you are bringing insight. There's a lot of big things happening with regards to movies this week, so you're going to unpack that fast this morning?
Yes, ma'am. The first thing that, I'm excited about, because I love both of these talents. You always complain I don't bring you enough romance.
Not just me,
movies.
myself and Kuthli. Why are you just dragging me? Because, okay, she's not here. I see what you're doing, but okay, yes. What?
Wow, she just spun a whole web in her head. So maybe this kind of thing will be exciting to you too. Zendaya recently on Twitter just teased a photograph of, which I'll show you in a bit though, a movie where she has chosen to star in with John David Washington, who we recently remember from Black Klansman.
Yes.
And Zendaya obviously were there with an old flame, mixed in with another web of deceits and lies now. She decided on her own steam during lockdown, which is just, it's really just incredible, like human creativity put in motion, to phone Sam Levinson, the creator of Euphoria, the TV show. Because that show obviously went on shutdown with lockdown and decided, hey, let's make a movie. And so they made a feature-length lockdown movie under totally safe circumstances, PPE, social distancing, all that good stuff, called Malcolm and Marie. That is this steamy teaser photo of Malcolm and Marie, which they shot shot in 2 weeks in a single home, a crew of 12 people, and there are no further details just yet, but I'm sure you can tell that it's going to be a romance, or I don't know, he's got an ear infection or something that she's inspecting. But love both of these people. Very, very deeply talented people. And how cool is that? Like, just such a human thing. Like, when I'm thinking about how to be creative during lockdown, I'm like, maybe I'll flip the pan instead of the egg.
And also the fact that she approached him, actually, which is amazing. Just shows how creative she is.
Studios, outside of gigantic corporations, 2 people, 3 people, Sam Levinson, John David Washington, and Zendaya just said, we can do something without the big money. So there's no date for that just yet, but I'm sure that everyone is excited. Aside from that, I'm also obviously super excited about their future projects. John David Washington in August is going to be in Tenet, and Zendaya will be in Dune in December, which is both going to be very, very good.
That's exciting, and myself and Kuthler really appreciate that you wrote something for us.
Yeah, just both you and Kuth.
That was just number 1. I'm sure number 2 is definitely not.
Number 2 is for the people who like more stabby kind of stuff. What? You're trying to tell me you didn't enjoy Kill Bill?
Oh, no, I did, okay.
So Vivica A. Fox has sort of pushed, she's desperately nudging Quentin Tarantino, who hasn't fully committed. That's a photograph of her in Arkansas, her new movie coming out soon. And in an interview with NME magazine said, hey, you know who would be a good casting for Kill Bill Volume 3, which isn't even greenlit, it's just an idea floating around in the air. That's her with Uma Thurman, the bride from Kill Bill Volume 1. She suggested very strongly that Zendaya should play her daughter. So there's more Zendaya news for the morning.
Zendaya is securing the bag, yes, getting that coin in, Mama.
And while it's nothing necessarily concrete, she said, like, you know, with the kind of the bag that she secures and the star power that she's now commanding. Say it again. The bag which she secures.
You cannot say the bag that she secures. That's not how it works. But
okay, what do you want? So, very intelligent idea, possibly. Obviously, in Kill Bill Volume 1, we saw the mother figure, which is Vivica A. Fox, getting murdered before the daughter. Now the daughter grows up wanting revenge against Uma Thurman. I think then Zendaya will be a fantastic casting for that too. So many years later, she might be the one taking revenge. There's a photograph of her being very physical in The Greatest Showman. She's clearly capable of the kick, punch, and hurt.
And to be fair, Zendaya really does something different with every role that she brings in. She's really a business woman, but she's also an actress and always just changes up. So would be interested to see her in Kill Bill.
It's cool to see someone who's not just content being, I'm just a pretty face in this thing with that.
That's what I was going to say.
She wants to be creative, and that's fantastic to see. I nearly swore by mistake. I need 3 coffees. However, I'm going to move on to another story for you.
Yes.
Brad Pitt has been cast in an action movie too. It is called Bullet Train, and it's going to be assassins all from Destination A to Destination B. They don't know who each other are, don't know the plurals, don't know which words I'm using. And it will start in 2021 that it will be filmed. Brad Pitt will be directed by David Leitch, the dude who did Atomic Blonde. So very physical stuff. And also Deadpool 2. And it'd be great to see him doing something a bit different, because he usually does, like, you know, we just saw in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, laid back, the man's man, just looking statuesque and whatever, at Astra.
And we're not sad about that. We like that. But
but
him switch it up a bit.
If Tom Cruise can change it up in his advanced age, then I'm being very gentle here. Then definitely Brad Pitt is clearly capable. If he loves stuff like Ocean's 11, if he loved stuff like, you know, the action-packed space movie Ad Astra, then it's good that he tries something new.
Well, listen, JP Sebastian is not going anywhere because more movie news coming a bit later on, so you want to stick around for that.
Hey, welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso right here on SABC3. Thanks for joining us at the start of a brand new day. It's a Wednesday morning, and a happy Wednesday to you, especially because we are about to announce some big news, because last week, BIC gave you the chance to win a 5,000 Rand shopping voucher, and today we're super excited to announce our very first winner. So, drum roll, please, all right? Big congratulations to Manoa Da Vinci! Yay! Yay! That's you, Manoa! That's you on the television. You are the winner of a 5,000 Rand shopping voucher to help you master your look. Now, Manoa said that to hashtag master your look is to wear your smile and confidence and inject positive vibes to people who are next to you so they can notice and compliment the clothes you're wearing. Well said, Mr. Manoa. We couldn't agree more. Enjoy that shopping. Shop until you drop, as they say. Now, for all our other viewers out there, do stay tuned, because there is still another 5,000 Rand shopping voucher that's up for grabs in this week's BIC Master Your Look competition. Now let's find out how CEO and media personality Kyle Clark masters his look.
You're with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. It's time for us to talk grooming. Now, being in business, and the business of anything really, means meeting after meeting, and first impressions really are vital, as they are everlasting. You're not only presenting yourself, but your company too. And one individual who knows this all too well is the CEO and media personality, Kyle Clark. And we chat to him this morning about the importance of mastering your look on a professional level, no matter what industry you're in. Kyle, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Expresso family. It's so exciting to be here.
Oh, it's so good having you, Kyle. Now, of course, we're celebrating Mandela Month, and Madiba always said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Now, does this ring true for you as a businessman?
I mean, definitely, for sure. You know, lockdown, we took a little bit of a knock, which was crazy, but we're slowly starting to pick up now, which I'm extremely humble and thankful for, like, genuinely. It's been a tough road, but I mean, we're here.
Well, we've seen you, Kyle, rock the media space with really a good amount of mastery. What made you decide to share your expertise by hosting online courses for people who are looking to master their social media skills?
Well, I mean, you know, Taviso, at the end of the day, we're sitting in a space where the fourth industrial revolution is being forced upon us. So, you know, we have businesses at the moment who are getting forced to be online. And if you are not transcending your business to an online space, you're going to be losing. I mean, every single day, the COVID cases completely spike. Businesses are shutting down. People are losing their jobs at the moment. So what is the next best solution? Is making sure that your business is online. So I'm teaching people how to do that specifically. And it's been a great ride so far.
I love it.
Beautiful stuff. Now, Kyle, look, I see you everywhere at the moment, rocking some of the most suave looks. And obviously right now you're looking on point indeed, brother. But what advice would you give when it comes to mastering your look for a meeting?
Thank you, Ral. You're amazing, dude. Absolutely love you. The best piece of advice that I can let you guys know about mastering your look is keeping your face clean, keeping your hair out of your face. I mean, you know, we're in a space when it's digital. Also, at the same time, people think that it's not appropriate to dress for online meetings. But, I mean, I make sure that from at least the chest all the way up, I always look good, but there's always pajamas at the bottom. So keep your hair out of your face and make sure that you look really presentable every single time.
You know, the thing is, anyone who follows you on social media will tell you that this guy really does know how to rock that neat look. And people want to look like you, Kyle. I want to be like you, Kyle. So what's the one thing that people can do to maintain a neat look and be like you, Kyle?
This advice is pertaining just to males. Now that we're sitting in a room full of just males, guys, I'm going to let you know, eyebrows is an actual thing. Like threading your eyebrows as a male. I know that, you know, previously it wasn't really looked at as something that was to keep yourself neat. But I mean, males, first and foremost, always make sure that your eyebrows are trimmed and there's like daggers and scorpions that you're serving 24/7. And yeah, just keeping your hair out of your face, guys. And in terms of meetings, rock up early. The first impression always counts.
Are you taking notes?
I definitely am, Tubbs. I'm going to head to the bathroom right now.
Let's go through it after this. Carl Clark, you're fantastic, man. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Man, and so much of your wisdom is always appreciated, brother. Thank you.
Sending you guys all the love. Have a beautiful day. Don't forget to wash your hands.
Now, of course, it's a brand new week and a brand new opportunity to win big. Now, what better way to celebrate it than by going on a shopping spree? Now, Big Flex are giving another lucky viewer the chance to win a 5,000 Rand shopping voucher. And all you need to do is reply to the competition post on your Expresso page, Facebook or Twitter. And of course, tell us how you #master your look for an important meeting. And of course, don't forget the #master your look. And this week's competition closes Friday, the 17th of July. So be sure to get your entries in. And your T's and C's can be found on the expressoshow.com.
I'm booking us that threading appointment now.
Please, 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 gal.
Master your look with Big Flex.
It's just gone 7 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. Time again to look at the news headlines. On the national news front, the South African Democratic Teachers Union yesterday called on Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga to shut down schools as the country approaches the long-feared coronavirus storm. Now, the call was made following a special meeting by the union's National Executive Committee to discuss the spread of the virus in schools across the country. Meanwhile, Health Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday said that COVID-19 cases again rose significantly in the last 24 hours, with 10,496 new cases reported. Excuse me. Now, this brings the total to 298,292. Now, with 174 further deaths, the toll now stands at 4,346. Now, the South African Airways Business Rescue Plan was yesterday adopted with 86% of the creditors voting in favor of the amended plan. Government welcomed that decision. The Department of Public Enterprises has also undertaken to provide proof of funding for the plan to go ahead as required by the Companies Act. Acting Director General of the department, Khathatso Tlhakudi, said the new airline would be an attractive asset for an equity partner. SAA's current acting COO, Philip Saunders, will be acting as the new interim chief executive officer. On the international news front, a small island off the coast of Africa known for its role in the slave trade has changed the name of its main square in response to the death of George Floyd and the global Black Lives Matter movement. The island of Gourie, a few kilometers off Senegal's coast, announced yesterday that Europe Square will now be known as Freedom and Human Dignity Square, based on a decision by the Municipal Council. Its original name was given in 1998 after European funding paid for the renovations at the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Now, a New York State judge yesterday lifted a stay that had temporarily blocked Donald Trump's niece, Mary Trump, from publishing a book presenting an unflattering look at the U.S. president and his family. Justice Hall Greenwald denied the request of Robert Trump, the president's brother, to stop publication. Now, Robert Trump said, "Too much and never enough, how my family created the world's most dangerous man," would violate a confidentiality agreement tied to the estate of his father, Fred Trump Sr., who died in 1999. Mary Trump, a trained psychologist, is Fred Trump's granddaughter. And now news of a local fisherman's role in major research. The local fishermen of the Kogelberg fishing community near Betty's Bay have played a major role in landmark research on the status and diversity of smaller endemic shark species in South African waters by dispersing special underwater cameras used to collect data. Now, a camera at the end of a meter-long metal rig housing a canister of oily fish bait was used to attract the predators. The footage allowed the scientists to measure the abundance and diversity of these endemic shark species and locate their preferred habitats. Lead author Jeffrey Osgood is in a statement released by the Worldwide Fund for Nature South Africa, which supports the research, praised the fishermen and said the research embraced the skills and knowledge of the local Kogelberg fishing community. Osgood said they also showed their dedication to science, as some community members viewed many hours of the video footage to count and identify 70 different species of marine life. The WWF has been working alongside fisher communities in Kleinmond, Betty's Bay, and Pringle Bay since 2012. And now taking a quick glimpse into the world of entertainment this morning, the greatest of ironies can turn out to bring us the sweetest joys. This is the case with Canadian singer Alanis Morissette, who recently revealed in a Rolling Stone interview that she initially wasn't that precious about one of the biggest songs of her career, Ironic, and that she didn't even want it on her groundbreaking debut album, Jagged Little Pill. Now, though it is a fan favorite, the almost 25-year-old song has received much criticism over the years due to many of the scenarios depicted not actually being ironic. According to the singer, it was one of the first songs written for the album and wasn't as autobiographical as the others. She recalled many of her team begging her to include it, which she eventually did, although begrudgingly. And now, isn't that ironic? Well, on that note, that's it for the news at 7 o'clock right now. Here's another look at the sporting headlines this morning with Ryle.
Now, here's a recap on your latest sports, starting off with local soccer. Banyana captain Janine van Wyk has joined Scottish team Glasgow City for the upcoming season. And now the 33-year-old has been a top player in South Africa, leading Banyana to the Olympic Games on 2 occasions and captained the team to the FIFA Women's World Cup in France last year. Now, Glasgow City is a top-performing team in Scotland, and they are the current Scottish Women's Premier League and Scottish Cup champions. And now, sticking to soccer, in the Premier League, Frank Lampard's Chelsea picked up a 3-point victory after claiming a 1-0 win over Norwich City at Stamford Bridge in the English Premier League last night. The Blues forward Olivier Giroud scored the only goal of the match with a header from very close range to the top left corner. And now Chelsea remains in 3rd position, standing behind champions Liverpool and former champions Manchester City. And there will be 4 Premier League fixtures this evening, and the biggest matches include Newcastle up against Tottenham Hotspur, Man City hosting Bournemouth, and Arsenal taking on Liverpool. And now in the MotoGP news, last year's MotoGP runner-up Andrea Dovizioso has been declared fit to race in the season opener at the Jerez circuit in Spain after he sustained an injury to his left collarbone in a crash last month. And now the 34-year-old Ducati rider has been eager to start the MotoGP season after it was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. And there will be back-to-back races in Jerez on the 19th and 26th of July. That's a sum up of your weekend, or a recap of your sport. Let's check out the weather with Jamie Lee.
Thank you very much, Ral. As we get into the second weather report, let us first look at your photography skills with the sunrise pictures that we love receiving from you. Luis G. Cherry, thank you very much for sharing that florid orange sunrise taken in Alberton. Gorgeous, gorgeous picture. Alberton starts the morning off with a -2 today and will reach a maximum of 16 degrees. Candice Amy Jones in East London also sent us this image of a bright and radiant sunrise. In East London, your temperatures start at 8 degrees and will reach an afternoon temperature of 18 degrees. Thank you very much to Louise and Candice Amy for your stunning pictures. We do it again bright and early tomorrow morning. Now, the massive cold front that brought bucket loads of rain to the Western Cape this past weekend really has helped to, fill up our dams significantly, and Cape Town dam levels have recovered up to almost 73%, a stark contrast from 2017 when levels were a bleak 27%. And the largest dam, the Waterskloof, is almost 70% full, and other parts of the world currently experiencing serious floods are Bangladesh and China. A third of Bangladesh is underwater after some of the heaviest rains in a decade. And in China, the unfolding disaster comes as the country is still reeling from the aftermath of the coronavirus. Now, floods have hit 27 of the 31 provincial regions in mainland China, with water levels reaching heights not experienced in 30 years. It's crazy. A total of 443 rivers nationwide are in flood, with 33 of them swelling to the highest levels ever recorded. Now, the South African Weather Service has advised of severe frost in some provinces on Wednesday, that's today, while others will experience very cold conditions across the country. But here are the temperatures for the rest of the country. We start off with Polokwane, a low of 2 today, reaching a high of 16 with 0% chance of rain. Mbombela, your low, 1, reaching a high of 20, with Pretoria starting off at 0, peaking at 17 degrees. If you're out in Johannesburg, it's -3, reaching a high of 14 today with 1% chance of rain. Mahikeng, -1, reaching a high of 19. Klerksdorp, sunny, -5, that's your start, peaking at 15. And Kimberley starts at -3, reaching a high of 14. Bloemfontein, -6 and a maximum of 14 degrees, with Richards Bay at 9 and 18. If you're out in Pietermaritzburg today, 1, your low, reaching a high of 16. Durban, you start off at 10, reaching a maximum of 18 degrees. If you're in Mthatha, -2, reaching a maximum of 15 degrees, with 1% chance of rain for East London, 8, your low, reaching a high of 18. Craddock, -4 and 13, with Port Elizabeth, the friendly city, 6, reaching a high of 17. Sunny times are out in George today, 6, that's your low, reaching a maximum of 16 degrees, with Cape Town, the mother city, at 9 and 18. Worcester, 4, reaching a maximum of 15. Sutherland at -5, peaking at 30. If you're out in Uppington, it's -2 for you, reaching a high of 17 degrees. And that's where we leave it for now. The next report will be in just over an hour.
Well, not sure what the weather is like in your part of the country, but hopefully a little bit warmer than what we're experiencing here. Cape Town is Cape Town is trying to silence us in our sleep. It's so cold.
But I also feel like you don't have a Spencer. You need to put on a Spencer.
A Spencer?
A Spencer.
What's a Spencer?
That old school Spencer that you put underneath that keeps you warm. So you need to put on like layers of everything to make sure that you're warm.
Do they make Spencers for people like me?
What do you mean people like you?
As in people of my physique and stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Please, I'll tell Willis to send you. Willis, please, can we send Kat some Spencers? Because
it's called a Spencer. Is that like not just like a vest?
Yeah, but a Spencer's a better word.
Right.
Yeah.
Then I think I've got a Spencer on in that case. Anyway, listen, we've still got lots coming up on the show. We'll be talking to Eitan Stern, our friend in all things legal. And we're talking about labor laws and job losses during this time of COVID-19. We know that a lot of people are having a very, very difficult time. And so it's so important to understand your position from a legal perspective, right?
Absolutely. And Mark Lottering is still here bringing all the laughs for this Wednesday morning. So don't go anywhere.
He wears Spencers too.
He does.
Wherever you may be, all Expresso prizes are delivered to you by Globe Flight, delivering smiles since 1998, 24/7, 365.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Our regular feature where we focus on the unconventional side of the law is back. It's called So Now What? And as we navigate the ensuing COVID-19 storm, it has hit us, according to our president, and we're going to get through it together. We have called upon the legal guidance of our friend and expert in law, director at legalese.co.za, Eitan Stern. Eitan,
is back here, and today's question is, I am trying to continue with the new normal amidst the changing lockdown regulations. So now what? We'll be taking a look at the legal side of working and living in this rapidly changing era. Eitan, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Really a pleasure. Just a pity I'm not back with you guys in the studio.
Ah, man, that sucks. But here you are, still just shedding that legal detail that we live off of.
So, as was announced by President Ramaphosa this past Sunday night, we are all forging full steam ahead while exercising as much caution as possible. So here's the big question. Are we actually allowed to refuse to go back into the workplace at this time?
So it's interesting. The first thing we need to consider is what is your contractual duty with your employer? And as an employee, the primary duty that you have with a job is to tender your services. So basically to do your job. On the other hand, in South Africa, we've got very protective labor rights. And so we've got what's called the Occupational Health and Safety Act, and that requires all employers to make sure that their workspace is safe for all employees to go to work in. So in general terms, an employer always has the duty to make sure that anyone coming to work is safe to do so. Now, during COVID, things get even more complex. And the Minister of Labour, they issued a directive a directive for COVID-19, according to the Health and Safety Act. And these directives set out measures that employers and employees have to adhere to ensure that the working environment is safe and healthy during the pandemic. So the answer to the question is, can someone refuse to go to work? In general, no, because your job is to do what your employer asks you to do. But if you can prove that your employer hasn't taken the requisite steps to make sure that your office or your workspace is safe to go to work to, and that you're not going to get sick to a reasonable standard, that you're not going to get sick if you go to work, then you could refuse to go to work. But just keep in mind that if you did that, you could still get fired, but then you could approach the CCMA or the labor inspector in order to look into the matter. So, if the environment is safe, have to go to work, but if it's not safe, then you might be able to refuse.
So, Eitan, what can we do then if a colleague gets sick, for example, in our company, and our company doesn't force them to stay at home?
Okay, so keep in mind the same answer as before. The employer has a duty to keep the workspace safe for all employees. And because of this duty, the employer has a duty to ask a sick employee or someone who's got a sickness such as COVID not to come to work. But not only that, but the infected employee also has a duty to refuse to come into work because they also have to contribute to keeping the workspace safe. So if an employee refuses to comply, then it could be considered serious misconduct and it could cause serious damage to the company and the employees. And if that employer refuses to ask the employee to stay at home, then once again, you could report that company to the labor inspector.
Okay, well, let's extrapolate that then a little bit further. So let's say you're running a business and one of your employees does get infected with COVID-19 on the premises and is then obviously adversely affected, needing expensive medical treatment. Can their family or that individual hold the employer liable for their expenses?
Okay, cool. This is really interesting, super relevant, and also something that's quite certain in our law. So we've got this act called COIDA, which is the Compensation for Occupational Injuries and Disease Act, and it's been in our law since the 90s. And what COIDA says is that if you get sick or get harmed while doing your job, you do not have a right to claim against your employer for occupational injury or disease at work. But that doesn't leave the employee without options. They can't claim from the employer, but there is a COIDA compensation fund which they can claim from. And I'm not going to go through the whole procedure now, but notice on what an employee has to do if they get COVID at work. They can claim from this fund and hopefully get up in the fund, and the employer will help them kind of fill out that paperwork, and that's all available. But in general, everything that we've spoken about today it's quite topical. It can be a little bit complex. So if you're in trouble with this sort of stuff, go speak to whether you're an employer or an employee, go approach a labor lawyer. I know at Legalese we've been really busy since COVID started dealing with these issues. So there's lots of help out there. There's labor inspectors, there's labor lawyers who you can approach for assistance with this.
There definitely is a lot lot that we need to be rethinking and looking at now as we try to navigate the legal space and how we're working in the new normal. But we'll be back in a moment figuring out, so now what, with lawyer Eitan Stern.
Valuable insights, and as always, thanks very much to Eitan Stern, our friend in all things legal. Now, an interesting question that we asked to you on social media this morning was, what would you do if you had the financial means right now in creating a business? What kind of business would you create, especially as we're looking at the times that we're living through and the fact that people's jobs are being so ill-affected, businesses in general are being so ill-affected. What would you do if you had the financial means? And this is what you had to say.
Absolutely. One of the comments coming through from Leafy and Love is saying, I would start a study program for all grades and it will be free of cost just to help them in their schoolwork, which is very good, Leafy. Another one coming through from Zaba Zakele saying, good morning. I would design a mobile kitchen and serve my town, Kwakwa. As a qualified chef, I would love to introduce new healthy meals to the locals.
Wow.
That's super cool. I really like that.
Wow, that is awesome. I like that.
And then another one coming through from Ash saying, I would start a vegetable garden program for the community and show others how fun and healthy it is to see and know where your food comes from, since most of us are losing our jobs during this time. And then last but definitely not least, Vivian saying, morning Expresso family, I'd love to start a jewelry business.
Okay. There we go. Do keep on sharing those ideas with us. We'd love to hear what you are thinking about this current economic situation. But just as Jamie Lee taught me about a Spencer a few minutes ago, let me teach you how to say it. It's kwa-kwa.
Kwa-kwa.
Spencer girl.
Where my coat?
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're with your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso here on SABC3. Time for us to talk about small businesses and the people who run them. Visa's Where You Shop Matters campaign has been running a series of initiatives designed to help small businesses across the country. By doing that, they're helping to stimulate the economy, create jobs, feed families, and inject money back into our communities. And supporting these local businesses is one way for all of us to help revitalize our economy. And today we chat to David Shields, owner of Woodstock Waffles, and find out a little more about what it is and what it means to him to be a small business owner and why shopping local is so important. David, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's such a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
David, what is your background and how did you get into the business of crispy, delicious waffles?
Well, I've always been a people's person at heart. So everything I do, every business I've built has the human element of connection attached to it. So whilst I studied politics and journalism, I saw that there was a massive growth opportunity in the digital terrain and its ability to connect people. So as time went on, myself and my partners began to see how technology could be used to better assist ordinary South Africans in a variety of ways. Over the past few years, we've built technologies to connect South Africans, but also make their lives easier, happier, and more convenient, which I guess you could probably say is where the waffles came in. So in 2016, I did a backpacking trip with my best friend in South America. And in Santiago, Chile, we came across this tiny little hole in the wall that had a line running outside the shop for days on end. And the minute I put this savory waffle wrap to my lips, I knew that these babies had to come home and we had to bring the waffles to the people.
And you brought them, David. But what do you think is the heart of your business? You know, the thing that customers connect to most?
What we strive to do every day at Woodstock Waffles, with every meal, with every single person that we come into contact with, is to leave them with a lasting, happy, memorable experience, right? That's all it is at the end of the day. We're just people, and even though technology has divided us now more than ever because we're not able to be in the same space at the same time, I still think that food and music brings us together, and it helps us to rejoice, to be thankful, and really to appreciate life's simple pleasures, like sharing a meal with someone you love.
We know, David, just how much the COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating effect on businesses across the globe. But how has it impacted your business, and how are you planning on operating in the future?
There's no doubt, right? COVID and the ensuing lockdown regulations have absolutely decimated the restaurant industry. The question I think that I like to talk about and that I like to mull over is adaptation. So how are business owners adapting to the climate around them? I think that there is no point in playing victim, as the virus it's not going to slow down to help you keep up. You just have to make amends, and you need to decide a way forward. So are you going to stick around and hope things improve, or are you going to create and ideate around new innovative ways to sell your product? So we've decided to venture into the idea of what they call cloud kitchens. And so we've invested time and resources and energy towards making this particular business model a success.
You know, we're always encouraging people to buy local, to shop local and support local brands and businesses. But why do you think shopping local is so important, especially in these tough times?
As you know, South Africa's in a really precarious position at the moment. We kind of have to choose between saving lives and saving livelihoods. And that's certainly not a position that I would like to be in, and to make those hard choices. In our case, as a small local business, the best we can do is to support other local merchants, right? Because local merchants order from local suppliers source from local farms and factories. Local farms and factories hire local people to get the job done. So it's a full circle 360 effect, and it starts with us as local merchants. So we're here to serve you. We're here to serve you with a smile, and let's all do our best to try and save one another and the economy.
And how do you think accepting digital forms of payment, such as Visa, makes it easier for you to run your business and to operate?
Yeah, life is just such a fast-paced thing at the moment. Right now, more than ever, everyone's working from home. There really isn't a work-life balance. It's becoming blurred by the day. So in my opinion, we really need ways to optimize the small tasks. So convenient payment methods is one of them. And if we're able to do that, we can get the bigger tasks done. And so we can go about enjoying our lives with our families and with our friends. Accepting Visa on my site and with my customers it kind of lets anyone pay conveniently from basically anywhere in the world. So it's a no-brainer why accepting Visa makes my life less complicated.
I think you've certainly inspired so many small business owners out there, and they're probably wondering where to go next. How can other small businesses like yours apply for support from Visa?
It's actually really simple. Basically, you go to visa.co.za, you fill in a quick application form, and you stand a chance to win digital marketing to the value of 15,000 Rand, which will hopefully get your small business off to a great start.
Thank you very much, David Shields of Woodstock Waffles, for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And that was David Shields. Well, if you're a small business owner, raise the profile of your small business by registering today at visa.co.za to feature your business on Visa's Small Business Directory. And you could win 15,000 Rands worth of digital advertising.
No matter who you are or what you're looking for, it all begins with a choice.
Is that not delicious? Getting my sweet tooth absolutely craved, and we are sorting out dessert. But before we get into our dessert, can I get a hooray for the humble stir fry? Now, it's a delicious way to include all the veggies we need, and pad thai is a favorite takeaway stir fry that comes together in less time than it would take you to wait for an actual delivery. And here to show you how to make this comforting dish at home is the one, the only Chef Clem.
Why am I not illustrious?
Everybody's illustrious now. We've all leveled up, Clem. We need to start.
Not illustrious anymore.
You're more than that to me, Clem.
I missed the illustrious trend. Okay, it's fine. So, we're making a pad thai, but the good Lord made me heavy for a reason.
Why is that?
Because if I wasn't, I'd be so easy to kidnap. You can literally lure me into like the most dodgiest van with chocolate cake, fried chicken, or a good pad thai. So, God, you know me.
Clem, I might actually join you in the van, my friend.
Are you doing it?
Like on my list of
Let's get
favorites.
kidnapped. No!
No, okay. I've got to say, pad thai, obviously for me, is just a pure experience of joy and love. It reminds you of going to Thailand, experiencing all things nature, boy.
Yeah.
So I am praying that you can take me back to the island.
This is dangerous for me to even attempt. And I don't even call this a pad thai. I say it's pad thai inspired.
Okay.
Because pad thais are like so precise.
Good cover. I like
There
that.
was, please, yeah. There was one of my favorite restaurants in Cape Town that's now unfortunately closed down. It's called Thai World.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this tiny little Thai lady, biggest voice, biggest personality. And she used to rock the biggest knife in the kitchen as well. She used to put a pad thai together and she used to be proud of it in like under like, it's like 2 minutes, boom, 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 done. That's phenomenal.
And then just stand there with a sword like, yeah, that's what's up.
That's what's up. I'm like, okay, cool. But let's get this going. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna scramble some eggs. So pad thais are very different depending on wherever region you travel to. You'll see sometimes they do like an omelette vibe with the rice, the noodles inside. Sometimes they just scramble the egg through. But I find this one's gonna be, it's the easiest when you scramble your eggs first, so you can control the doneness of your eggs because you don't want to have rubbery eggs in your pad thai.
And then your pad thai is bouncing all over the wall.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And we're doing a vegetarian version today, but you could totally do chicken, beef, prawns, whatever. Even that tofu we used earlier, get that in there now.
As a veg.
That would be amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
So what we do is we're gonna kind of like cook our eggs like you would a pancake. When it starts kind of setting, you just kind of pull it in. This is also a good tip for making scrambled egg to get those layers on layers of eggs. Okay. So once you see it setting, you pull it in, keep on doing that.
Coming through with the techniques, I didn't know there was a way to make scrambled eggs. I thought it was like idiot-proof.
What?
Yeah,
okay,
man.
You know what we're gonna do for our next Facebook Live? We'll do a scrambled egg, the perfect scrambled egg.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
As much of a mess as it looks, it seems like there's actually a technique here, Clem.
Absolutely. Relationships are built on how good your partner can make scrambled eggs in the morning.
Wow. Coming through with the love life advice, guys.
There we go. That's it. Okay, in here I've got some canola oil and a little bit of sesame oil. Check that little thing in front of you. Smell that.
Okay.
Smell that.
Oh, wow.
Sesame
it's got
oil.
like a roasty wooden...
Toasty, nutty.
Yeah,
it's amazing. So we don't ever fry with that, which is why I mix it with a little bit of canola oil, because it's more of a seasoning. You want to add that nutty flavor to it. So to start that all off, let's go... Katlego gave me a lecture because I was frying off some chilies.
Yeah, he was
so in case you notice,
coughing in studio and everyone's going to call him out for COVID, apparently.
If you notice everybody...
wherever you are.
Yeah, if you notice our presenters sniffing, it's me, guys. I've unfortunately fried so many chilies in the first segment that everybody's sniffing. It's not COVID, it's just flavor.
The day I got onto the show, guys, Chef Clem has been cooking up fire in every single dish. I think if you didn't like spicy food, then this is not the kitchen for you. Of course, when you are doing it at home, when you are heading to the expressoshow.com and you are getting that recipe inspiration, you're more than welcome to take all that chili out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't handle the spice, but of course, we over here in the studio, it's early morning, it's cold, we're in the heart of winter, so a little spice is always welcome to warm up the soul, and Clem is doing just that.
And thank you for saying you can moderate the chili, because if you don't like the chili, like take all of it out if you want. That's perfectly fine. But I mean, a little bit of heat's fine, just to get a bit of hum in the background.
Good for the metabolism as well.
There we go. Talk about metabolism. Garlic, ginger, chili went in there, spring onions with the oil. That's smelling amazing already.
Yes.
In here, I've got some soy sauce. I'm gonna add some fish sauce. Both of them are salty, but they give different levels of salty flavor.
Fish sauce.
Fish sauce.
Okay.
Also smell that, pretty potent. But once you cook it down, it mellows out.
Oh, I'm not having a shot of that.
That's fishy,
power, yeah.
That's fishy. A little bit of sugar going in there to balance out. We've got the saltiness, we've got the sweetness in there. The chili is good, doing its thing. I'm gonna add a little more. And then a little more fish sauce, because sesame oil. I love that sesame oil toastiness.
It smells so good, Clem. It's got such authenticity to it.
Yeah, it does, eh?
It really, truly
There we
does,
go.
man.
It's so good. Peanuts going in, and they're going to toast in that sauce. In with our sauce. These noodles are so simple. Put boiling water over them, and 7 minutes later, they're done. You don't have to boil them, nothing. So simple. In.
Chuck it straight in.
Straight in.
Another thing I must mention, and I think a few guys at home watching the show right now might actually enjoy this. Pad Thai, for me, another reason why it's actually a favorite, obviously, it's got the great carbs. You can throw in any meat or any protein that you need for a great macro balance. But what I find, especially with me personally, I've got a bit of a gluten intolerance, so too much gluten kind of really messes with the stomach, especially after a big pasta meal where I'm loading up the carbs. So anyone at home, rice noodles are a really great alternative as a gluten-free dish, just to kind of alleviate any struggles that any of you might have if you do have any gluten intolerances. So this rice noodle is right up Nature Boy's alley. Clearly, you are kicking it here, man. Oh, so where are we in this dish? Because everything is smelling like
it smells so good,
I'm on the plane. I'm about to step off. I've got the Avianas on, but I haven't just got onto the beach yet. But I can smell it. Oh, it's smelling good.
Get that all onto the plate. And I like when you order pad thai, it's never like a tiny small portion.
Yeah, it's never that gourmet serving.
They always think that you're going to feed the whole family. But it's just for me. Okay, cool. A little bit of mint going on there, because I love the balance of like mint. Their flavors are so complex with the way that they balance flavors. I love it. A little bit of spring onion, just to garnish it off.
You know what I love, Clem? They balance the flavors, but you can still taste the separate.
Everything.
You can still taste a bit of that fish sauce. You can still taste a bit of the ginger. You can still taste the chili. It all comes together though at the same time. So it's like two dishes in one, to be very honest, man.
Absolutely, I agree with you. So what I've done is I've toasted some peanuts in the pan. And it's very simple. Basically, put it in a very dry pan. In a dry pan. No oil, no nothing. Put the peanuts in, and you'll start smelling them toasting. And then as it starts toasting, you just like wok your pan a little bit, and you'll start toasting the nuts. There's oils in peanuts and almonds and cashews in your nut. You want to bring those out and toast it, get that like sesame flavor, sesame oil, and then you blitz it up very quickly. This is like they have this on every single pad thai, and then all you do is you just.
So you crush it up afterwards?
Yeah. What I do at home is I add more of these dried chilies to it.
Of course. Of course you do.
And then I blitz the peanuts up with this chili, so you get this like peanutty chili sprinkle, and you sprinkle that on anything and everything.
Clem making up his own little line of sauce.
I have to. And then that's all you need. And then literally you just sit there and you watch our show on YouTube after the show, and you sit there with your big plate of pad thai. And you just eat. Happy.
Sorting out your Wednesday. Guys, if you had any blues this week, don't worry, we got you sorted. Again, head over to expressoshow.com for this incredible recipe inspiration. It's a pad thai infusion. You can add anything you want, but we are just all the way in Thailand right now. It's the perfect dish for me, guys. I'm going to be off to the beach. Cheers.
Are you tired of conference calls, connectivity problems, and need to go on site or be in the boardroom? Well, Mango are soaring the skies once again. As we navigate through this new normal, businesses need to recover, and Mango cares about business. For affordable and reliable business and essential travel, visit www.flymango.com. Go discover more. Go Mango. Book now. Terms and conditions apply.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're with your Feel Good Breakfast show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Good morning. Now we're continuing our discussion with lawyer and director at legalese.co.za. It's Eitan Stern as we take a look at the legal side of working and living in this rapidly changing era of COVID-19. Eitan, good morning. Welcome back again.
Good to still be here.
All right, let's get into some very tricky waters now. We've obviously seen a lot of legal back and forth between the various parties involved in the manufacturing and distribution of tobacco and alcohol, and obviously our government. So we understand the government's main concern is about public health, but should the courts rule in favor of the companies, what could that outcome be?
Yes, this is a really interesting thing to understand. And you know, if there's one advantage of the situation, is that we're all starting to really interact with the way that our legal system works. So it's government's job to make laws, but it's the court's job to have oversight over the government. And this is called a separation of powers. And we have these sorts of rules because we have a history of government abuse in South Africa under apartheid. So now all power is kept in check by some other power. So if the government makes a rule and courts deem that rule to be illegal or unconstitutional, they can strike it down. And that's what would happen, say, with the cigarette ban if the companies had to win. But, and this is really the beautiful part of our system, while the courts can strike down the rules, they must be careful not to do the government's job in making rules, because that's outside of their power. So what they would do is say this rule is invalid, and they would then give the government a certain period of time in order to make new rules that would be valid. And that's what we saw with the previous case involving the level 3 regulations. So we're all just going to have to wait and see what happens and how this whole thing plays out with cigarettes as well.
So as we saw on social media, I think during and directly after the president's address, people are getting quite frustrated with the constant changes and all these limitations that we're hearing of.
With immediate effect.
You know what I mean, with immediate effect. But what is the importance of setting those frustrations aside and really following our government's advisory to mitigate the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on our healthcare system and, I suppose, our economy as a result?
Okay. So I guess, and this is a personal opinion, I think the thing to remember here is that the bad guy in this is the pandemic. And no matter how hard our jobs are, I can only imagine how hard governing a country during a pandemic must be. So we can be frustrated at the rules, but for the most part, the rules are there to keep us safe and prevent us getting sick. We should rather be frustrated at the virus. That all being said, a crucial aspect of government is that it has to be in the best interest of the country and that the rules have to be rational. So where people can be frustrated is where they feel the government isn't acting in our best interest, say through corruption or political infighting, or where the rules are not rational. And where we feel that's the case, we need to speak up, because that's our job in a democracy. We need to speak truth to power. That's where we fit into the checking on power. But if you're upset about alcohol, or, you know, not being able to buy booze, or that you can't go to your favorite restaurants, you know, maybe it's just sucking it up and relaxing until the pandemic is over.
Suck it up, princess.
I think we have to also, through all of this, I think, consider the repercussions economically for those restaurants and those people who are affected. On the flip side of it, it is very tricky water. So thank you so much for helping us unpack it just a little bit. And I'm glad that at least some small silver lining that, as you say, people are learning more about how our legal system works. So hopefully you have tons of people after this phoning you and nagging you with burning questions. But Eitan, always great to connect with you. Hopefully you can stay safe through all of this craziness as well.
The best, guys. See you soon.
Fantastic. Eitan Stern, our friend in law. But as we grapple with business unusual, let's remember that our chief objective here is to keep everyone as safe as possible and as healthy as possible.
Very interesting conversation there with our friend at Legal Ease, Eitan Stern, because let's look at the reality. You know, lockdown and this entire pandemic has been such an emotional effect on everyone, but also so much financially for everyone.
Definitely so, and I think that's exactly why we're asking you guys on social media today. If you had the financial capability, what innovative business ideas would you come up with to obviously sort out or create a success during this lockdown? So obviously looking at anything crazy, and you guys came up with the goods indeed. Jamie Lee?
Yes. Yandiswa Zawula Malusi says, I would collect chronic medication option for people who can't go to our public clinics and deliver at a small fee, and it will help to reduce long lines in our day and hospital and clinics. And so I think that is amazing. It speaks of the selfless person that you are, so thank you so much for that. Another one coming through from Molex Lex is saying, good morning, Expresso show team. I would open a tutoring or study program as there's much work left for teachers, lecturers, parents, students and learners. I would help my community disadvantaged surrounding areas with their schoolwork.
I'm loving this advice. It's so selfless, like you said, Jamie, and the fact that these ideas are serving something good, I think it's so impeccable. I hope you guys are maybe going to pull through with this one, actually. And then lastly, we've got Chantal Botha saying a scarf business, and I definitely feel you there. I think we'll all definitely be wanting one of those scarves indeed, Chantal. Thank you very much, guys. And I think we've got one more from Tasquin here. She's looking at online active streetwear store, an active wear store, and I think that's something that I would definitely love. Make sure it's warm for winter, though.
Yes, absolutely. Now remember to keep that conversation flowing on our social media platforms, Expresso Morning Show. But in just a moment, we'll be speaking to Mark Lottering again. Don't go anywhere.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on SABC3. And right now, we're still hanging out with Mark Lottering.
Yes,
it's been
we
such
are.
a pleasure to chat to him, catch up on what he's been doing. Of course, his live stream show, My Fellow South Africans, has been so well received. And he's been doing amazing things with the show, including bringing in the deaf community by including a sign language interpreter into the show. That's just been one of the many things that Mark has been busy with, including taking pictures of himself with a guitar on Instagram. And we're waiting for that budding music career to start pretty soon, Mark. You know we are. But listen, also, Mark, in response to the impact of COVID-19 and the nationwide lockdown, the Baxter Theatre Centre in Cape Town has launched a brand new initiative called Baxter Radio. Tell us a bit more about how you're involved there.
Yeah, the situation with the theatre, it's a hectic situation. I know the word hectic is overused, but it is hectic in that we really don't know when we will be able to go back to work again. And I'm okay because, I started my career with stand-up comedy and picking up a pen and writing my own stuff. So I think I'll always be okay. But my heart breaks for my friends and the actors and dancers and musicians who I work with, because I know that they wait on shows, and they wait to be booked. So with that happening, and with the Baxter even not knowing when people will be able to come back, never mind on stage, but in the audience, the question then is, how will the theatre remain open? And they would have to shut their doors, as so many businesses have. And I don't think we can afford to lose the theatre in the city, any theatre in the city. And so the Baxter has come up with a campaign whereby they're asking the public to go onto the Baxter's website and simply donate 30 Rand a month to the Baxter. And if we get enough people donating 30 Rand a month to the Baxter Theatre, the theatre won't have to shut down. Hence the referral to it as the coffee campaign, because it's buying the Baxter a cup of coffee, which is basically 30 Rand.
Yeah. Well said.
And you're right. We've got to save the theatre. We've got to save the arts. And we all can do something from, like you mentioned, as little as 30 Rand. You really, it goes a long way in protecting one of the most important institutions of culture and of our society. But I know that you've been keeping fit as well, Mark. We've been seeing you go up and down those steps there. Have you adopted a routine? What's your story with the fitness there?
Guys, I don't even want to lie to you, because you would see right through me if I lie. So I'm just going to tell you the truth. I I was lying in bed this morning and I touched my own body and I thought, my friend, you are in good shape.
Okay.
So I've been running up Biscop steps, up and down Biscop steps, and been staying in shape because I think that's also important for the mind, you know. And if you can only reach the point, like me, where you can lie in bed in the morning and touch your own body and be happy, then I think that is where you should be. So yeah, I want to encourage everybody, if you can, stay fit, do what you have to, walk, run, do whatever you need to do.
Wow. I can see how you and Kat get along so well because he does exactly that, except he doesn't only do it from his bed upon waking up. He arrives here at work at the wardrobe change room.
Get out of my life.
He does a few push-ups and then he starts touching himself. So it makes sense, The friendship makes so much sense.
I want to say I've seen Kat in shopping malls already, which is why I know that I have to tell people that you're not lying.
Mark, I can't believe you right now. It's terrible. Oh, wow. Okay. Bringing it back to reality, not the fantasy world that you guys are in. It is Mandela Month, and I think a lot of what you're doing and what you've told us about what you're doing certainly shines as a beacon of hope and exudes that Mandela-esque kind of character that we're trying to cultivate in South Africa. Maybe share with us what you're planning on doing for 67 minutes on the 18th of July, if anything.
For Mandela Day, I'm very happy to be involved with Cotlands. They do amazing things for the early development of children, which is so important. So I'm doing something with Cotlands. We're going to be laughing for 67 minutes. It's a show online. I'm with 5 or 6 other comedians, and for 67 minutes we're going to be funny people. All the money raised will go towards Cotlands, and that will be available on cricket.co.za. So that's what I will be doing for Mandela Day.
Wonderful stuff. Can you imagine the six-pack abs that come from laughing for 67 minutes? You'll be feeling your body all morning.
Basically, absolutely. Some amazing stuff there, Mark. But of course, a lot of us miss Auntie Merle so much, and we know that she couldn't join us this morning. But if anyone at home is missing Auntie Merle the way that I am missing Auntie Merle, and you're looking for information on how to get those tickets to my fellow South Africans, then Auntie Merle has a message for you. Take a look at this.
Hello, it's me, Auntie Merle. So listen, my lovey, I didn't get to catch that Mark Lottering show online because at that time I was in an online prayer meeting. There's a lot to pray for, always a lot to pray for. You know, even my neighbor Suraya Samsudin said to me, Ya Allah, Merle, you always praying, you always on your knees, you should get knee pads, XA, nonsense, man. When I pray, I sit. Because then your request must get to heaven quicker. So listen, my hubby Dennis said to me, Merle, you can still catch that Mark Lottering show on the computer. I said, I better watch it because apparently a lot of people saw it. He made money. Maybe now we can buy bro cream. But listen, we now don't judge people who make money. You know, we don't envy people who make money because some people say he gives some of that to charity. But I see a lot of the online celebrities, they say that when they're doing their shows, they're giving to charity. You never see which charity, but shame, man, they're helping, they are helping. God is good, God is good. So like I told you the last time, Dennis says you can still get the tickets on Quicket for the same price, still 70 Rand. I almost told you, man, you go to Quicket, www.quicket.ca.za. Now you're on Quicket. Now you look for the name of the show, My Fellow South Africans. You type that in. Now you push that. Then it take you to the show. Then you click another button. There you buy a ticket for the show. Now you wait. Now Quicket. I told you the last time, they're going to email you. You wait for the email. Now, if you don't get the email, don't stress or get a heart palpitation in your left eye. Don't be silly. The email, they say, then probably went to your junk box. So don't make junk, man. Look in your junk box. Now you get the email. Then you open the email. Then you push on that email. Just so it take you to the show. I'm telling you, we are really living in end times.
Oh, wow. I think I sense a show called the Auntie Merle Files coming out soon, Mark. Yo!
Yeah, I saw that clip. sometimes you become a character and then you don't realize what that character is going to say. So a lot of people were going, Auntie Mo, shade. But I think we're all just having a little bit of fun. The purpose of these characters is to make people happy, to make people smile. So ultimately, I hope that's what she brings.
Ooh, Auntie Mel carrying that baobab tree with all the shade along the highway. I love it.
It's a whole tree now.
Mark, listen, we appreciate and love you very much. Thanks for sharing your morning and your time with us. Really appreciate it.
I love chatting to you guys. Thank you very much. Please take care of yourselves.
We're not letting you go just yet, actually, because we clearly are enjoying you so much. We're going to be playing a game with you. It's a 5-second rule game, and you'll find out all about it when we play the game. So get your thinking cap on, because you're going to be doing lots of thinking very quickly, answering as well.
And while Mark does that, how about you go on and get your tickets for my fellow South Africans, like Auntie Merla's told you to do. You can get the tickets online on cricket.co.za, and tickets are only $70 a piece. Come on, you need the laughter.
Well, listen, Mark Lottering is not going anywhere because we're still playing Omar Russ 5-second game with him in a while. But of course, our movie guru is back. JP Sebastian here to unpack on what is happening with regards to movies this week. Are you happy that I said that you're not doing insights and movie guru? I practiced that.
You could have pumped it up a bit more, like.
Whoop, whoop.
I mentioned my academic credentials, but whatever. No, well, I'll take the whoop whoop. I'm happy for that. What I'll also take though is, and I know that you TV people have a lot of money, don't you? Anyone got 5 million rand lying around? No.
Are you asking for yourself or are you asking for a friend?
Okay, now I'm asking for myself because a suit is going on sale on auction. The spacesuit from 2001: A Space Odyssey is up for auction and most likely will reach a value of 5 million rand soon. 2001: A Space Odyssey is obviously the masterpiece, and really I'm just making any kind of excuse to show you photographs of it. From 1968, Stanley Kubrick's movie, the suit was designed by, and I don't know fashion houses so well, but the gentleman's name is Sir Hardy Ames, who still has a fashion house to this day. I'm sure that people will be, and I mean, we need all the PPE we can get, so if you've got $5 million lying around, this is one of the most beautiful design things. 2001: A Space Odyssey informed even the way our tablets look, informed the kind of way directors wanted their movies to look. And so that's definitely a keeper for someone who has that kind of spare change. Just
5 million rand though. Yeah,
that's
what I want to ask you.
Like
if I gave you 5 million rand right now, would you actually buy it?
No, I mean, like, I hate these auctions so much, actually, because that's the kind of thing that should be in the public sphere. The movie is a masterpiece. It looks more beautiful than the moon landing, and it happened a year before the moon landing. Really, it's a shame that some rich dude just goes, I'll sit on it. It will be an investment for the next auction. It's shameful to me, especially for something that is as monumental as 2001: A Space Odyssey. At least we can all enjoy it still by legal means, of course, wink. So, hey, if you want other things as well, by the way, at the same auction, Jesse Pinkman and Walter White's hazmat suits are going on sale from Breaking Bad.
For how much?
Don't know the details just yet, but these are just the maxes we're talking about. The auction will happen soon enough. And Bilbo Baggins' pipe, shame, Ian Holm, rest in peace recently, will also be at the same auction.
Oh, wow. That's interesting to know, though. But you also have news insight about Life in a Day.
A documentary that's coming out. Now, I just said Stanley Kubrick in 2001 informed a lot of the directors we know and love today. If you love Steven Spielberg, he'd be nothing without Kubrick. If you loved James Cameron, he'd be nothing without Kubrick. George Lucas, nothing without Kubrick. And another person who would be nothing without Kubrick is Ridley Scott, who we know and love from Blade Runner 2049, he executive produced on. Gladiator, he's making a documentary called Life in a Day 2020. There you're seeing him on set with Matt Damon in The Martian. Life in a Day 2020 is a YouTube initiative where they're asking everyone, and that's even you, the people I'm talking to film yourself on the 25th of July and submit that footage. And
this specific day, the 25th of July, you just have to, yes?
Show us what your day on Earth looks like, and 30 unlucky editors will sit through. The last time they did this 10 years ago, it was 80,000 submissions, and they string that into a feature-length documentary. It'll be about 1 hour, 40 minutes, and they'll show that at Sundance Festival. Man, Ridley Scott, looking at your footage. They ask you, by the way, if you do try and do this kind of thing, don't do anything too glossy. Don't over-design and over-perform it. They just want to see you in your your humanness
Real.
on Earth, your real self. So something similar to, say, Koyaanisqatsi or other great documentaries of back in the day, just trying to capture life. And I suppose what better year for that?
I like this. I actually really like this idea because I feel like everyone will have a different story from this day, but also now during lockdown, again, being innovative of how film producers or just people being creative puts us all together.
And just how we're coping as a planet. I suppose it makes sense that Ridley Scott, the guy who did Alien and other disaster movies, is behind the production of this. Directed, by the way, by the director of The Last King of Scotland, Kevin MacDonald. So it's all very serious people who might be working with your footage. Maybe a well-meaning project. Maybe if I'm being a bit too cynical, maybe you're trying to soften us up for stealing our private information, YouTube. But no, I'm sure that they mean well to do a beautiful, touching sort of documentary about life on Earth.
And then I'm very excited because you have some news about my man crush, Monday Everyday, Ryan Gosling.
Right.
He's making news this week. Tell me about that.
Well, it's not directly about him, but I'll talk about him for sure.
Just like 10 seconds at least.
So Lee Wan-Null is the director of The Invisible Man. I don't know if you enjoyed that. It came out recently. A lot of people were into that. It had the lady Elizabeth Moss from The Handmaid's Tale in it. Anyway, I thought that the movie was good, but it acted very much sort of like a showcase of just his talent, sort of almost just his portfolio, for my money anyway, which is not a lot. Anyone 5 million. Lee Wan-Null is now pegged to be director of the Wolfman movie starring Ryan Gosling. So Universal Pictures, they stuffed up big time with The Mummy. It was awful, the Tom Cruise movie, and they thought that they were going to re-inject these old classic horror movies and start a whole new universe. It seems like they're taking it all from the start again with this director Lee Wan-Null, who did The Invisible Man, and now he's going to be with Ryan Gosling doing The Wolfman as the next horror movie. I think what's great about it is it doesn't sound like the kind of picture that's going to be like, oh, the Wolfman has to save the world. Apparently, he's just a news anchorman who has this secret about himself. So something for you to sink your teeth and claws into, no doubt.
Again, I just want to reiterate to everyone is that there's no definite dates for this. This is just all pipeline.
Yeah, these are just directors in discussions with big fancy studios and stuff like that. So they'll start shooting that in 2021. But man, why wouldn't they get the guy who directed Ryan Gosling in Drive, the guy who directed him in Only God Forgives, the pictures I was just showing you? Lee Wan-Null did the job, though, in Invisible Man, so I'm sure this will be just fine, too.
Well, thank you so much, JP Sebastian. I even made you a nice warm cuppa moment for all this insights with regard to what's happening in our news this week. But let's get on to the real news right now with Kat.
Just gone 8 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. Here's a last look at the news. On the national news front, humanitarian aid group Gift of the Givers yesterday visited Gugulethu in Cape Town to hand out mattresses, hygiene packs and clean masks to flood victims. Severe storms that hit the Western Cape over the weekend particularly affected vulnerable communities. Many informal settlements were left flooded after heavy downpours. Now, Gift of the Givers Ali Sabli said Gugulethu residents, along with other communities, would be receiving continued relief over the next few days. Gift of the Givers has also been handing out food parcels to hungry families during the lockdown. The South African Democratic Teachers Union yesterday called on Basic Education Minister Angie Motshekga to shut down schools as the country approaches the long-feared coronavirus storm. The call was made following a special meeting by the union's National Executive Committee to discuss the spread of the virus in schools across the country. Meanwhile, Health Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday said that the COVID-19 cases again rose significantly in the last 24 hours, with 10,496 new cases reported. This brings a total to 298,292. Now, with 174 further deaths, the toll now stands at 4,346. On the international news front, new satellite images appear to show a rise in water levels in the reservoir of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam built on the River Nile. Now, the $5 billion hydropower project is at the center of a dispute between Ethiopia, Egypt, and Sudan. Talks to end the decade-old row ended on Monday with no agreement on key technical concerns raised by Egypt and Sudan. Now, Egypt fears the dam which will be Africa's largest hydropower project, will greatly reduce its shares of the waters of the River Nile, which it depends on almost entirely. In other news, a small island off the coast of Africa known for its role in the slave trade has changed the name of its main square in response to the death of George Floyd and the global Black Lives Matter movement. The island of Gori, a few kilometers off Senegal's coast, announced yesterday that Europe Square will now be known as Freedom and Human Dignity Square, based on a decision by the Municipal Council. Its original name was given in 1998 after European funding paid for renovations at the UNESCO World Heritage Site. And now an item on one of the most impressive birds in the world. A new study on the world's heaviest bird published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences for the first time mentions amazing facts regarding the Andean condor. Now, researchers have found that this bird, of which some weigh a whopping 15 kilograms with a wingspan of up to 3 meters, flaps its wings just 1% of the time during flight, most of the time during takeoff. Now, flight recorders found one bird that flew for 5 hours without flapping, covering some 170 kilometers, making use of air currents to stay airborne. The study is a collaboration between Swansea University's Professor Emily Shepard and Dr. Sergio Lambertucci in Argentina. Shepard said the research showed just how flexible condor soaring strategies are. However, they don't have the luxury of gliding all day because at some point they do get hungry and they need to fly to find food. And this is where it becomes tricky. They have to find rising air to avoid an unplanned landing. Now, it's estimated that there are only about 6,700 Andean condors left in the world. And another quick look at what's happening in the world of entertainment this morning. Now, if there are any baby boomers, Gen Xers or millennials out there who may be feeling nostalgia for the 90s and live music, then you're in luck. In recent weeks, a feature on a UK website created by Twitter user Rico Monkian has gained quite some popularity. Now, when you land on the homepage, it randomly generates a fake concert lineup using artists who, quote, played a UK festival in the 1990s. And this includes the likes of Nirvana, Smash Mouth, Daft Punk and Oasis. Now, the site generates two virtual lineups, and if you click on an act listed, you will be then linked to an archived live performance from the act to enjoy. You can then regenerate a new festival whenever you choose, leaving the potential to be entertained for hours on end. Well, on that note, that's it for the news on this Wednesday morning. Let's take one last look at the sporting headlines with Raul.
Catching up with your latest in sport, starting off with soccer, Banyana captain Janine van Wyk has joined Scottish team Glasgow City for the upcoming season. And now the 33-year-old has been a top player in South Africa, leading Banyana to the Olympic Games on 2 occasions and captained the team to the FIFA Women's World Cup in France last year. Now, Glasgow City is a top-performing team in Scotland, and they are the current Scottish Women's Premier League and Scottish Cup champions. Now, staying with soccer and moving over to the Premier League, Frank Lampard's Chelsea picked up a 3-point victory after leading Norwich City 1-0 at Stamford Bridge in the English Premier League last night. The Blues forward Olivier Giroud scored the only goal of the match with a header from the very close range to the top left corner. And Chelsea remains in third, standing behind champions Liverpool and former champions Manchester City. And there will be 4 Premier League fixtures this evening. The biggest matches include Newcastle up against Tottenham Hotspur, Man City hosting Bournemouth, and Arsenal taking on Liverpool. Now, last year's MotoGP runner-up Andrea Dovizioso has been declared fit to race in the season. The opener is at the Jerez circuit in Spain, and after he sustained an injury to his left collarbone in a crash last month, the 34-year-old Ducati rider has been eager to start the MotoGP season after it was delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, there will be back-to-back races in Jerez on the 19th and 26th of July. Now, that's all we have for your sports recap. Over to the weather with Tapiso.
Thank you very much, Raul. A final look at your weather across the country. But first, let's acknowledge the fact that throughout the course of this morning, we have enjoyed some of your beautiful sunrise pictures, such as this one you're looking at right now from Carrie Hunter Holthausen, who sent us this picture from Stellenbosch. How beautiful is that? I mean, take a look. Stellenbosch will catch a slight break from the extreme cold with clear skies today at a low of 4 and a high of 16 degrees. We also got this picture from Fatah Khan, who sent us a picture all the way from KwaZulu-Natal with a picture taken in Richards Bay. A windy day for you, Richards Bay, at a speed of 34 kilometers per hour. Hold on to your hats. Louise G. Sherry down in Alberton also sent us a picture. We know that she will be enjoying a better weather set than the past few days at a minimum of -2 with a high of 16. And we ended off with Candace Amy Jones, taken, obviously, who took this picture from East London. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Please do continue to send us those pictures tomorrow morning. Of course, we did it early from 6 o'clock in the morning. And of course, the massive cold front that brought bucket loads of rain to the Western Cape this weekend has helped to really replenish our dams significantly. And Cape Town dam levels have recovered up to almost 73%. A stark contrast, obviously, from the 2017 period when levels were a bleak 27%. The largest dam, the Waterskloof, is almost 70% full. Other parts in the world are currently experiencing serious floods. Bangladesh and China, a third of Bangladesh is currently underwater, and after some of the heaviest rains in a decade. And of course, in China, the unfolding disaster comes as the country is still reeling from the aftermath of the coronavirus. Floods have hit 27 of the 31 provincial regions in mainland China, with water levels reaching heights not experienced in 30 years. A total of 443 rivers nationwide are in flood, with 33 of them swelling to the highest levels ever recorded. The South African Weather Service has advised of severe frost in some provinces on Wednesday, which is today, while others will experience very cold conditions. But here are the temperatures for the rest of the country. We start off with Polokwane 2, that's your low today, reaching a high of 16. If you're out in Mbombela, sunny times 1 and 20. Pretoria, 0% chance of rain today, 0, that's your low, reaching a high of 17. Johannesburg, -3, reaching a maximum of 14 with 1% chance of rain. Mahikeng, a 0% chance of rain, -1, that's your low, reaching highs of 19 with -5 at Klerksdorp, that's your start, peaking at 15 degrees. Kimberley, -3, reaching a high of 14, with Bloemfontein starting off at -6 and reaching highs of 14. Richards Bay, 9 and 18. And Pietermaritzburg, your low today is 1, reaching a maximum of 16 degrees. If you're out in South Africa's playground, Durban, 10 and 18, those are your temperatures. Mthatha, -2, reaching a high of 15. East London, 8, your low, reaching a high of 18, with Craddock at -4 minimum, reaching a maximum of 13. The friendly city, Port Elizabeth, 6 and 17. George, 6, that's your low, reaching a high of 16. Cape Town, 9, peaking at 18 degrees, with Worcester at 4 minimum, reaching a maximum of 15. If you're out in Sutherland, -5, that's your low, reaching highs of 13. And lastly, Uppington starts off at -2 today, reaching a maximum of 17 degrees. And that's where we leave it for the weather this morning. Whichever part of the country you find yourself in, no matter what the weather's looking like, be sure to make it a feel-good type of Wednesday.
Hey, we're in Mzansi. It's always feel good when you tune into your Feel Good Breakfast show. You know what I mean? Start your morning here. That's how we do it. And you just agree with everything that
I'm just the backup.
But of course, after the break, when we come back, we'll be celebrating your birthdays, because today is your special day. And so we want to wish you a very happy birthday. We've got some great dedications, right?
Absolutely. And also, if it is your birthday today, you celebrated alongside Wade van Niekerk, who's also, yes, the Wade van Niekerk.
The Wade.
The Wade van Niekerk. It's his birthday today as well.
You know, there's like a National Wade van Niekerk Day that we kind of christened on the show.
Yes, I did not know. Please teach.
Look at that man. I mean, what an icon.
Hey.
What a hero.
So when's this National Day?
What a star.
Is today the National Day of Wade van Niekerk?
You know what? It doesn't matter. Any day you feel like celebrating Wade van Niekerk is National Wade van Niekerk Day. And how about it? Today, we celebrate you, Wade van Niekerk.
to you.
Yes, Jamie Lee's loving this song, and I know that you're loving it too on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's time for us to wish you, our beautiful viewers out there, a very happy birthday, because today is indeed your very special day. And you get to celebrate it alongside one of the best track and field sprinters South Africa and undoubtedly the world has ever seen. None other than Wade van Niekerk, who turns 28 years old today. Wade van Niekerk's birthday! Yes! Another reason for us to celebrate this great man. I mean, if there's anyone who can race with a cheetah and still win, possibly, yes, it would probably be Wade. He's the only sprinter in history to have run 100 meters in under 10 seconds and the only one to run 400 meters in under 44 seconds. And he broke a record that was set in 2000 and now holds the world's best time in 300 meters. I mean, 100, 300, 400,
Hey.
just making names, man. Wow. And on top of all of that, he's, and you know, one of our cameramen just said it now, I think it was Sean who said it, that he's one of the most humble humans ever. Despite all of his achievements, when you speak to him, he's just like super down to earth and just chilled with it, man.
I think that's what we love about him, because he's so relatable.
Everyone's waiting for his great return back to the track on the international stage.
Well, we can't wait for that, but of course we can't also wait to say happy birthday to the rest of you at home. This one reads, happy birthday to my precious son, Kees. Every day you find a way to bring a smile to my face and happiness to my heart. I thank God for blessing me with you. Love you with all my heart, and this is love from Mommy. And then the next one reads, happy first birthday to my beautiful baby boy, Jegudil. Your mommy loves you endlessly, and this comes a love from Lavertia Strachen. Thank you so much.
Yep, then happy 7th birthday to Duncan Noah. May our Heavenly Father grant you with more, and please stay as funny and sweet as you are. This is from Alex, from Mommy, and from Daddy as well. And happy 33rd birthday to King Ash Nkabinde. We're thanking God for your life, and may He bless you more. And this is from your family in Mbex. Where's Mbex?
Far, very
Mbex,
far.
like Mbex. Yo,
Malanga, maybe.
Mbex. I'll have a look at my geography map for that.
Definitely. Now the next one reads, today we're celebrating your birthday. I hope all your birthday wishes and dreams come true. Mama Kali, Yonela, and this is love from your buddies today on your special day. And then another one coming through, wishing my son Ulrich Samuels a very happy 16th birthday today. May you have a fantastic day. Love from your mom and Uncle George. They love you so much.
Then a happy 4th birthday, Princess Madison. We hope that you have a great day and that you love all of your gifts, and especially your birthday cake, which you are so particular about. This is with lots of love from Mommy, Daddy, brother, Granddad, Nana, Uncle Kyle, and Auntie Kim. Happy birthday to you.
Can we just see Madison's car as well? Madison has like a
Oh, she got the Benzo.
Yes, she got wheels. The girl got wheels.
Is that like that's the GLE on the?
I don't even know, but it's like a hi, Madison. Who wants?
It's an AMG too. What Madison? All right, girl. All right, we see you. Listen, beautiful birthday messages. I would love to know where Mbex is. So if there's anybody watching from Mbex, please tweet us, Facebook us. Let us know where. It's probably like a shortened name for some, you know.
Mbex,
like it could be Mabopani, Mbex. They could call it that. We don't know these things. So please let us know. I'd love to know where it is. Anyway, if you'd like to wish your loved ones a very happy birthday, send your birthday messages through to us to 071 640 6551. You can send videos as well where you sing happy birthday, and those pictures and messages can also be sent through to birthdays@cardova.tv. And if it is your special day today, happy birthday.
Thanks for staying with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, here on SABC3. Now, as we have seen worldwide, the effects and devastation of the COVID-19 pandemic have been severe and far-reaching, leaving countless citizens with no access to basic resources. Locally, there is especially so much truth in this and continues to affect thousands of South Africans. Thankfully, Woolworths, with the assistance of the Gift of the Givers, have been able to help fight against hunger with the Fill a Bag campaign by delivering vital food and hygiene items to those in need. And to update us on their current progress, we are joined by Gift of the Givers Project Manager Ali Sablé. Good morning, Ali. Thank you very much for joining us again.
Good morning to you and to the viewers out there.
It's great to see that you are still continuing, of course, with the hard work that you have been putting in on the ground. How has the progress been going over there? Give us an update on how things have been.
Okay, so for Youth Day, we headed to Johannesburg, where we distributed care packs to the students of the University of Johannesburg from disadvantaged backgrounds. As well, as we all know, during lockdown, many students were stuck away from home. We then headed to Alexandra and handed out care packs to child-headed families. And then from the period from 16th of June to the 19th of June, which is also part of the Youth Day programs, we distributed 1,000 care packs to the youth of Alexandra, Cosmo City, Eldorado Park, Kempton Park, Tembisa, Doornfontein, and Davidton. And then just last week, the 7th, 8th, and 9th of July, we were in KwaZulu-Natal, where we distributed 1,000 care packs to the rural areas of the Harry Gwala district and Friday past in Willem.
And what's the response been like whilst visiting and assisting these communities? I can only imagine how emotional and heartfelt this must be, especially when there are children involved.
Distribution in many of the communities and towns around South Africa, every experience is a different experience, but everyone has the same story, which is hunger. And especially the most, when distributing to child-headed families, it becomes more emotional, as we know these are the children who have to look after their siblings as well. And for some of them, as we know, before lockdown, the only meals some of these children or youth used to have, whether it was at the school's kitchen or at the cafeteria campus, the youth knew they were getting their food every day, because when they go back home, there's underprivileged, there's unemployment, mom and dad is not working, so they know that they're not guaranteed they're going to have a meal at the end of the day. So when lockdown came into place, these youth was either stuck at campus, where the kitchens were closed, or we had to go back into the community where they had no proper meals for the day. So these care packs had a great impact on them for the next month or two, as they were smiling and there was laughter and there was satisfaction. At least for the next month or two, they will be having meals on the table.
Ali, it has been very humbling to see South Africans coming together in an attempt to achieve the 1 million meal mark, but we're not quite there yet. How close are we to reaching our target?
We are very close to reaching that target. It is within reach. Together as South Africans, we can make this happen. We know this period, many people are experiencing have different experience within this lockdown period. And so we are appealing to those South Africans who are watching these programs to dig into their pocket, and as little as 10 rand, you can feed one person 3 meals per day. And we can make this happen. So we are appealing to everyone out there to please support this worthy initiative, where we can make a difference in your fellow South Africans' lives. During this lockdown period, there are many people who are still not back at work, so the need is increasing daily. So we appeal to everyone to support this worthy initiative.
The bottom line, Ali, is that together we can, and small acts of kindness in the form of these donations and these pledges really can go a long way. But thank you very much, Ali Sable, the project manager of the Gift of the Givers, for all of the fantastic work you are doing out there on the ground. It really is so inspiring and so heartwarming to see people like yourself going in there and really making a difference.
Thank you. And hopefully next time we're on the program, we have reached our goal. We thank all South Africans who supported this initiative so far, because we see the spirit of Ubuntu overflowing, and definitely together we can make a difference in a fellow South African's life.
It certainly is also possible, and you echo my sentiments that the next time we speak here, we've got to be making sure that we've reached those targets, because nobody should go hungry. That was Ali Sable, the project manager of Gift of the Givers. And, words cannot describe the importance of initiatives such as this one, and our gratefulness towards the brave souls on the front line, assisting those who are in need. And together we are able to help, and making a difference is luckily as simple as donating via SnapScan using your banking app, or an EFT key. For more information, you can go on woolworths.co.za/Together We Will. An enormous thank you, of course, to Ali and the rest of the Gift of the Givers team, Woolworths, and of course the South African public for your continuous support and your continuous effort and undying attitude. In light of Madiba's birthday on Friday, of course, we leave you with his words: we can change the world and make it a better place. It is in your hands to make a difference.
Yebo, siyabonga Mzansi. Thank you very much for all that you've done. It's clearly very evident that together we can make a difference. And so far, Woolies has managed to raise, get this, 2,068,711 rand. All thanks to your collective effort.
Absolutely. This means that 3,336 bags donated and 701,257 out of the 1 million meal goals has been donated already. I think we speak for the entire South Africa when we say thank you to everyone who has donated so far.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're still here with your feel-good breakfast show. And of course, isolation during the lockdown has proven nearly impossible in the community of Ottery in the Western Cape, which is a home to over 6,000 people. And now, it's not uncommon for families of up to 12 people to share a single flat in the area. But with the added joblessness and families that are struggling to survive, it is just a challenge indeed. And not happy to sit back and do nothing, domestic worker and Ottery resident Lauren Juries, together with her employer Tracy Gander, started Ottery Can as part of the Community Action Network to feed their entire community. Now, Lauren joins us to tell us more about this incredible cause. Lauren, how are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Lucian. I'm well, thanks. And you?
It's so good. It's Raul here. Actually, Lucian has actually just left you, so I'll be taking over. No worries at all, Lauren. Well, listen, this is your community, Ottery, that we're speaking about, and it's their plight, which is also yours as well. But what is it that prompted you to step out and start this incredible feeding project?
Well, God showed me for a while that I have to start doing something for my community, but I never knew how to begin. And in April, I thought that it's now or never, with lockdown being there made it worse. So we, as a family and my employer, donated some money, and then we started the soup kitchen in April 21st.
It just absolutely excites me when I see God working and using you as an incredible vessel like that. But now, so far, you mentioned in this project, of course, you raised over 170,000 Rand, which is incredible, and so well done to you. But you've used that to help your cause and feed over 75,000 community members. Can you tell me more about the level of impact that you've actually achieved through this Ottery can that you've started?
I want to give a big thank you to our supporters and backers. We cannot do this alone. It is collective effort. It takes a village to raise a child, but a nation to care for a community like ours. We have given out nearly 250 parcels plus grocery vouchers and prepaid electricity worth over 100,000. We have partnered with 10 soup kitchens in our area. These amazing community members serve over 10,000 meals a week. We are blessed to have received additional support by the likes of Super Troopers, the DG Murray Trust, and others for Lola's Soup Kitchen to buy raw ingredients. In addition, our partnership with Amakaya Amabini has secured income for 37 vulnerable families for a sustained period of 8 weeks.
Wow, Lauren, absolutely incredible. Now, on top of all of this, I also believe you plan on giving 670 children warm winter wear for Mandela Month. Can you tell me more about this?
Yes, Mandela Day is a reminder about the importance of kindness and caring for others. It's an opportunity to set aside politics for a day and to honor our great leader. With this in mind, we're looking to raise funds to buy blankets, slippers, etc. To keep our kids warm during Corona, we are collecting gently worn clothing for the children, and our soap mamas are preparing a special lunch for Mandela Day. To support our Mandela Day campaign, visit our Backer Buddy page, 670 Kids Mandela Day with Ottery can.
Oh, thank you so much, Lauren. And if guys are not able to get onto the website, where else can they get information on how to support these incredible projects and all of the beautiful work that you're doing?
They can also email us at can.ottery@gmail.com or find us on Facebook at OtteryCan. And then we also have where you buy a food parcel at Yebo Fresh for Ottery can.
Ah, brilliant. Well, that's Lauren Jurie's handsofhonor.co.za/Ottery can, and she's just doing some incredible work. Lauren, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing and sharing in terms of the love for your community. And thank you for joining us this morning in the show.
It's a pleasure. God bless you.
Have a beautiful day. Now, because these are our lockdown heroes doing whatever they can to fill an empty belly. And now it's a cause worthy of your support. And of course, another great cause is that Woolies Fill a Bag campaign. So of course, get rolling and get donating.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
Well, it's always fantastic to be chatting to those making a difference in our community. So thank you very much to Lauren and her team. Now, I've got a quick riddle for you in the kitchen. What's fresh, creamy, superior in quality and comes packaged in the color blue? Well, it has to be Clover Fresh Milk, of course. And speaking of which, all this blue talk got us thinking about something delicious, something definitely not borrowed in something blue. And our Clover Fresh Milk blueberry pie is the perfect dessert for, it's a bowl of comfort, basically. Nicole, and we're going to be teaching everyone at home how to make it. Hopefully very easy, very quick, as all recipes are in the kitchen.
100%. So this is a easy, quick recipe, like you said. It's all going to go into one bowl, into one dish, in the oven, and cooked. That's how simple it is.
And I'm a massive fan of blueberries. They are in season right now.
So delicious.
Goodness.
I mean, look at this. I actually added a little bit of extra because we've got a wider here, and I couldn't stop picking on them. They are so delicious.
Oh, so you actually depleted like half the bowl. I'm joking.
Maybe just a quarter.
All right, so you got your blueberries in.
Yes, you can use fresh or frozen, depending on what you find locally or in your stores. You can always find it in the frozen section as well if you don't find them fresh.
Okay.
So I will find that it is nice to, even when they are in season, buy a little bit in bulk and then freeze them up, because they are cheapest at that point.
What did you just add there?
So I just added our corn flour. So that is when you're making a pie, you want it to be saucy and like almost like creamy and thick.
Yes.
So because we're adding our clover milk in and we've got a little bit of caster sugar, you want it to thicken up a little bit. So as soon as this hits the oven and reaches temperature, it thickens up into a slurry.
Okay.
So we're going to add a little bit of caster sugar just to balance out the tartness with the blueberries.
Would you be able to use any other alternative sugar, brown sugar,
You could use-
normal granular white sugar, or maybe even a sugar substitute?
For this one, I would prefer to, if you had to use white sugar, you could use brown sugar as well. You are going to get like almost like a stickier toffee-like texture. But I find the caster sugar distributes nicer into the sauce, and it just melts quicker because it doesn't bake for that long.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Got
So
it.
just to bring out the beautiful freshness of the blueberries, we're going to add some lemon zest, something that we love using in baking and in all our dishes.
That's going to help the flavor pop a little bit more.
Yeah, and then, you're going to drink this lemon juice afterwards and bulk up that vitamin C.
Make some lemonade.
Exactly.
With blueberry pie. How about that?
100%. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cream going in here. Then our clover full cream milk, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup.
Okay, good. In the lovely new blue bottle, of course.
100%.
Still the same creaminess, deliciousness, superior quality.
Then you're going to add a little bit of your vanilla. And this is going to be the hardest part, is literally mixing it all up.
Mixing it together. Okay.
So you just want to make sure that all that corn flour is distributed, because you don't want that corn flour to be like almost like thick clumps,
Okay, yes, yes,
because
yes.
it will stay thick clumps when you bake it, so you don't want that. So you just make sure it's mixed beautifully. So it's going to be a nice creamy blueberry filling. So you're going to add it into a pie dish. If you don't have a pie dish and you've got a cake tin, use a cake tin.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. And you wouldn't need to line the cake tin with any baking paper or anything like that, hey? Or would you want to do that?
You could, but because this is quite a wet mixture, I'm worried that it might seep into the baking paper. Yeah. So now this is where the cool fun part is. So we made a little lattice pattern over there. So if you don't know what lattice is, it's just the almost looks like the fancy, the old English pies and the cherry pies sitting at the edge of the window. That's kind of the look.
I think in Afrikaans they call it te vleg.
Te vleg.
Like this is a flaxel.
Yeah, the flaxel is like the
yes,
three...
a weave kind of thing.
Yes,
You've woven them together.
Basically, yeah.
You call it a lattice.
A lattice.
Lattice.
Lattice, yeah. So
lattice.
We're going to keep our spacing nicely like that. And then you're going to take your other one, and then you actually want to cut this or just break it in half, because we need a very short one at the end here. Then you take alternating one. So you take one.
Okay.
Like
okay.
Okay. So don't be freaked out. We're just gonna take another one. So I think the spacing over there will be nice. Then you bring them back.
Okay. Only the alternating ones.
Yeah. So now you take the opposite ends. So the ones that you didn't.
Okay.
Okay. Are you following?
I'm following.
Then you're gonna take another one.
So you're gonna lay that down.
So a nice gap.
Take the same ones back.
Now we're taking these ones back.
And then you're going to take the other ones, the alternating ones, and take them over.
Yeah, so you just keep this going, just like that. And you'll see how quickly it comes together. And it's so worth the effort, guys. It looks impressive. It is impressive. And it looks harder than what it is. I mean, you saw how quickly I can put this together. So you're going to do that. And then you trim off your edges, and you always want to brush your pastry with a little bit of egg wash just to give it that beautiful golden color like you got there. It's almost like a glaze. So you're going to glaze this up, pop it into a 180-degree oven for, I say, 15 to 20 minutes till it's nice and golden brown.
Lovely stuff. A blueberry pie, right and suited for the time. Make one, for dinner tonight as dessert. And of course, it's beautiful, absolutely delicious, and very, very healthy. You can get the recipe on our website, expressoshow.com. Here's a quick recap.
with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
Clover Fresh Milk is the #1 milk brand in SA. Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Now, just when you think you're having a good morning, Mark Lottering calls and says he wants to challenge Kat to a game of 5 seconds.
Mark Lottering, what have you done?
I actually don't know what he's thinking. Mark, this game is very serious to us, okay? Let me explain the rules to you. I'm going to read you a series of questions and you have 5 seconds to answer with 3 answers. And here's the thing, winner takes home the Oma Rusk. And in honor of your new comedy show, My Fellow South Africans, this game will be all things South African lockdown inspired, okay? Boys, are you ready?
Like my grandmother used to say, gotta get that Oma.
Okay.
Let's go, Mark
Here we
Lottering.
go.
Let's go.
Kat, I'm gonna start with you first. Name 3 lockdown food trends.
Ooh, probably a lot of pasta, baked goods, and cakes.
Just in time?
Because people are baking cakes.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Mark, name 3 non-essential items. 5, 4, 3.
Cigarettes, and another cigarette, and another one. 3 cigarettes.
Absolutely not. Also, I just want to remind you that you only have 5 seconds, okay, Mark? Only 5 seconds. Okay, Kat, here we go.
3 cigarettes. All cigarettes are non-essential.
3 answers. 3 answers in 5 seconds. Okay, Kat, here we go.
Okay.
Kat, name 3 safety measures against the coronavirus.
Wash your hands, sanitize, wear a mask, social distance. Mark, I can go longer, Mark. You want more, Mark? You want more?
Yes, you can go long because those are kindergarten questions.
Mark, here we go. Name 3 nicknames for COVID-19.
Rona, Auntie Rona, Coronacious.
Alright, I'll give Mark that last one just for coronation. I've never heard that before.
I think that's a name you would actually name your child if your child was conceived during this time. Coronacious.
Why would you want
to? If someone's giving you a rough time, you look at them and you go just vast coronations. You guys are not moving in my circles.
Okay, Kat, here we go. Name 3 departments of government.
Department of Health, Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, Department of Tourism.
Department of Health, Sports, Arts and Culture?
Are you not ashamed? Are you not ashamed of giving him those questions? Are you not a little bit embarrassed?
Deal with it, Mark. Just
Absolutely
deal with
not. Mark, here we go. For you, it is name 3 South African presidents.
Thabo Mbeki, Nelson Mandela, Cyril Ramaphosa.
There we go.
getting
You came
into
back.
the scoring
You came back.
zone now.
Kat, name 3 new things you tried during lockdown.
I tried to learn Spanish, I tried to learn to cook new dishes, and I tried to learn to swim. Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it hasn't worked out yet.
So, shame. Mark, here we go.
He made it up. Yeah.
Totally
I totally made it up. You're right. It still counts, right?
It still counts,
right?
Mark, here we go. Name 3 things you missed during lockdown.
My niece, coffee shops, movies.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That was nice. That was good.
I wonder which niece. Okay, here we go. Kat, name 3 things you can find in a home office.
Pens, sticky notes, screens.
Screens, like laptop screen or
TV
a
screen.
monitor screen, went for your Zoom calls. I'm being general, guys. I'm addressing the entire situation, what we are amongst.
I was just asking. Okay, Mark, name 3 things you shouldn't find in a home office.
Handcuffs, a gun, a taser.
That last one wasn't in
It
time.
wasn't
Mark.
in time.
It wasn't in time. But great imagination, though.
Taser, definitely not something you'll have. Kat, here we go. This is the last round, guys. Thinking caps on, pressure is on. Give me a stay off. I don't know why Mark is smiling all the time. Mark, this is serious. Kat.
Because I can smell victory.
Kat, name 3 ways to connect with friends and family during lockdown.
Zoom call, you can send them emails, or WhatsApp text them. You know, you could do that as well.
You could.
Yeah.
Totally could.
Yeah, I think that's nice. Hey, Mark, isn't that nice to do that? It's nice, hey? Yeah, okay.
Okay. Mark, last round. This one's for you. Name 3 things to do when your partner is driving you nuts during lockdown.
Phone your ex, turn the music up loud, take a 2-hour bath.
Yo, that first one. Oh my word, Mark. What?
I don't know.
This is like knee-jerk reaction is the.
I have no words. I have absolutely no words. Imagine
You're driving me nuts. I'm gonna call
Barry. Whoever.
Barry.
That's brilliant.
Don't know why it was Barry. But listen, the score total is in, and unfortunately, Mark, you did not win by.
It's been amazing beating you.
The whole nation is watching this. He got the standard grade questions, and we obviously understand that there's a production meeting before the show, and the meeting says, please guys, let Kat win, because we know that he has issues. I'm big enough to come to the table and even embrace that and go, it's fine, Kat.
And to all the learners going to school this morning, I'd like to remind you, unlike Mark, when you lose at something, rather take it on the chin and say, I'll do better next time.
Mark, regardless of you losing, I'm still going to send you a box of Omar Rush just for you, okay? And just
thank you.
And for Auntie Merle. I'll send another one for Auntie Merle as well.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Lovely seeing you, Mark.
Guys, it's been fantastic spending some time with you, man. Lots of love. Please take care.
Our favorite Oma rusks just got a whole lot more yum yum with the all-new peanut butter flavor. Anytime is dipping time.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your Feel Good Breakfast Show Expresso here on SABC3. Now, this morning we are also taking the time to remember Naya Rivera. As we reported earlier on in our news bulletin, the body of American actress Naya Rivera, who last week went missing in Lake Peru in California, has been recovered. And she was 33 years old, and she played the character of Santana Lopez on the groundbreaking musical series Glee, in which the journey her character took as a lesbian person of color inspired and encouraged many others to live their authentic truths. But she also always used her voice and platform to be an ally and an advocate for the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
So such a tragic loss, right?
And just the circumstances around her death as well are I think equally tragic, in the sense that she was with her 4-year-old son. They had rented out a boat, and that lake is known to have kind of very rapid water activities, whirlpools and surges in the current. And I guess suspicion right now in the reports that we spoke about in the news is that while they went out for a swim, she and her son, realizing that the water was becoming very dangerous, obviously got him back onto the boat.
Yes.
But didn't have the strength to get herself back on, and that's how she's presumed then to have drowned, which is very tragic, because I mean they found the boy I think hours later in the boat, and he was asleep, and him not obviously being able to communicate exactly what had happened.
Yeah. Well,
it's a tragedy.
Yeah, the trauma. How traumatizing that must be for a 4-year-old. But of course, our thoughts really are very much with her son during this time, and we really do send our condolences to her family, and of course, lots and lots of her fans who loved her work on Glee have had messages pouring in of obviously just reflections on her life and her times and the role that she played on Glee. But of course, this is a tragic coincidence, obviously, with something that has taken place back in 2013, when Corey Monteith on the same day was found back in 2013 due to drug toxicity. You don't have words for this sort of thing happening, honestly. But we do send our condolences, and may she rest in peace.
And perhaps if you want to have a look at the silver lining on this otherwise dark cloud, maybe you are a Glee fan, maybe you watched her character and what she inspired. You've seen the show. Maybe relate to us some of your memories. If you're feeling like sharing those with us on our social media pages, #Expresso Show. We are remembering Naya Rivera today on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you, boys, so much for covering that story. Yes, it is so sad what happened to her. But, of course, JP Sebastian is back, because you have some more news with regards to movies this week.
Yes, I do. And let's try and lift the mood, I suppose, and talk about someone who I think everyone loves dearly these days, especially because, we were just mentioning over there in the lounge, Captain Dabiso, allies and people who represent and people who come to the front of the queue, even if they're celebrities. And John Boyega is definitely one of them. He has been cast. John Boyega, obviously of Star Wars fame. You probably aren't a Star Wars fan. More of a Trekkie, aren't you, obviously? She loves Star Trek. Live long and prosper? No? Okay, never mind. So John Boyega has been cast in a movie called Borderland, which sounds great, because I was kind of worried for this guy that his career was going to turn too much into like swashbuckling Pirates of the Caribbean constantly, even though he wasn't in that. But I'm just saying that
kind
type
of
role,
feel, yeah.
just being sort of hero boy and whatever, and he's doing a bit more thoughtful stuff. Whether it was Detroit, which I'll show you a picture of. There you go. That was a while back with Catherine Bigelow. But this one is going to be the story where it seems as though he will definitely be the bad guy. He is a special forces agent during the times of the Troubles in Northern Ireland, and he kills a guy's pregnant wife. The guy takes revenge, and he decides to join a militant offshoot of the IRA. And so it's this chase revenge thriller type thing. And like I said, that for me, that's sort of a nice departure from lightsabers and lasers and shouting on distant planets and that kind of stuff. More maybe cerebral, but also tactile and thrilling and whatever. All of that aside, though, it's also just great to see John Boyega. It's weird that we should have had to possibly at some level worry that because he was, in air quotes, outspoken about BLM and Black Lives Matter, that, you still get to have a career if you want to speak out for justice and for constructive change in the world and speak out against racism. So, yeah. career's flourishing, doing just fine, John Boyega, who you know and love from Star Wars, don't you?
Yeah, I totally do,
she's a
because
Star Wars
I
fan,
watched all the Star Wars and all the Star Trek.
You even have the same hat that Cthulhu wears.
Exactly, that's where I got it from.
Cthulhu's not a character in Star Wars, I made that up.
Wow, you movie shaming me, and that's not fine, JP, that's not okay.
No, I hate those kind of people. Don't be a movie shamer type. Like, what? You don't know Tarantino? That does.
I at least know Quentin Tarantino.
Are you shaming me right now? Okay.
No, I'm not. But you also have interesting news about shaming. Someone's actually age and voice shaming.
Yeah, and while it sounds silly and light because of the kind of movie we're talking about, I think that she is making a good enough case. The voice actress Julia Sawal,
Why did you change your voice?
I don't know.
You and Julia Sawal. Okay, never mind.
Oh, geez. Okay, fine. If you're noticing these odd things about me that I don't notice about myself, maybe you're going to be a good director one day. But Julia Sawal she was a voice actress in Chicken Run, 2000, the year 2000, which was the most successful stop animation still to this day. And what's really ridiculous is that 20 years later now, she has been told that she cannot be recast for the role of Ginger, who is the leading angry chicken that you're seeing right there.
Why?
Because producers described her voice as too old, which is weird because you're a voice actor, and she wasn't even offered a test of her voice beforehand. I think that they probably just want a glitzier, younger kind of face, walking the red carpet type thing, even though you're a voice actor. Maybe it's that. I'm not going to assume, but she is frustrated, she is infuriated, she is saddened to lose a pretty, big character in the... These are the same people, by the way, who did Wallace and Gromit, Aardman Animations, gigantic studio, and a lot of people love Chicken Run. But that sounds a bit bonkers, really, to tell someone, if you have some, oh goodness, I forget her name now, but the lady who voices Bart Simpson.
I was just going to say, she's 40 years old.
She's in her 40s.
Yeah.
And it's even dumb to say, oh, well, can a voice actor get too old? And the other big question is, like, what does an old chicken sound
like? And then can't they then just re-script? Because she is the lead voice actress.
Don't
and
dodge
if you
the
are
question.
A voice actor,
what does an old chicken sound like? This is what I want to leave you with.
I don't really know, but I'm definitely not going to.
Why is this happening? What just happened? Is that your old chicken voice?
That's my old chicken voice.
That is fascinating.
I don't know why it has a southern accent as well.
I think they're pumping something into the studio, chicken gas.
They definitely do.
Flem is cooking up something good, no doubt. But yes, an ageist story, even if it sounds silly enough, like seriously, it's I think a very dumb thing that probably, like I said, they just want a younger, flashier model, if that's,
But her face is not even there.
It's probably for the PR. Roaming the red carpet, going to the festival, saying hi, taking selfies, that kind of thing. But maybe it's also not that dramatic. I mean, Mel Gibson as well, who's gigantic, was also let go from his original lead role in Chicken Run for the sequel. And he's but I suppose these days fallen out of favor with a lot of people. Maybe these days the chicken from Chicken Run has become
really
less anti-Semitic and maybe less racist than Mel Gibson these days. So maybe that's why he wasn't cast. So there's something for you too.
Listen, please let us know what you think an ageist chicken sounds. We would love to hear how you think that a chicken sounds, Maybe the boys can let us know what an ageist chicken should sound like.
Oh, Jamie.
An aged chicken? You mean an aged chicken? Like an old one?
What does a geriatric chicken sound like?
It's like the difference between...
He would definitely have that.
That's a very no. I guess that's a youthful chicken.
That's a neo-soul chicken.
And then when it's aged just a bit more.
Deep questions.
I don't know. Has anybody even analyzed chicken audio?
Chicken linguistics, yeah.
You have?
We're definitely not analysing chickens out here.
I don't speak cluck.
We are assisting everybody out there in the combating and hunkering down during the proverbial COVID-19 blues, of course, guys. And as we are literally weathering the storm and that's raging outside, it's important to count down and count our blessings to ensure we remain hopeful and happy, of course, indeed, Kat. Is that not true?
That's very true. Absolutely. That's why we're sharing the following words from Professor Bobby Duffy, who is the director of the Policy Institute at King's College in London. And they come from his appropriately titled book, The Perils of Perception, Why We're Wrong About Nearly Everything. What a title.
that
Yeah,
book
now
is.
this is what he has to say. He says, one thing that does not seem to be clear is that health and happiness are connected, more so than we were often even aware. I think that just speaks so much to the power of perspective and perception and showing you how immeasurable it really, truly is, Kat.
I'm just thinking about that title of the book and how we're wrong about everything, yeah?
I think it's good to always question things. I mean, we have our grounding, we have our solidification in our beliefs, but to question, I think, is always just to improve that understanding, improve that meaning, and improve that perspective.
Absolutely. All right, listen, stay tuned after our live broadcast here on SABC3. We'll be live on Facebook. Chef Klim looks very, very excited. Are we making something chicken-related? No chicken-related dishes there, but it'll be delicious otherwise.
I will be doing fitness though, Kat. So guys, stay tuned in, of course. Straight after the show, we're going to be doing a incredible fitness. It's inspired by Charles du Toit. We'll see you soon, 10 minutes time. But thank you for joining in all the magic. Have a beautiful Wednesday, guys. Peace out.
What?
Expresso Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.